Oh, hello. How are we, people? I hope you're all well out there. This is, I know, unexpected stream. Was not planning on this stream, but it happens. What can we do? Before I forget, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching replay, please make sure that you like the stream. If you haven't subscribed, then subscribe. I don't know what's wrong with you, but more than anything, please make sure that you like it. So, new trial. I just had to Google where New Albany was. It's in Ohio. Some places say it's in Ohio. Some people say it's in Indiana. But I'm going to go with Ohio, on this one. So I was actually researching another trial when I stumbled across this one, actually. The other one starts, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday, but I was like, it might be a long trial. It's like a death penalty trial. This one is not, I don't believe. So that's why I thought I'd choose this one. It's hopefully a nice, quick one. So somebody might be asking, what is this trial? Well, this trial is about a guy called Bruce Foster III. He is from New Albany. Well, the incident happened in New Albany, Ohio. So on February 4th, 2025, a shooting occurred at KDC/One Warehouse in New Albany, Ohio. So Bruce Foster is 30 years old and he's charged with 19 felony counts, including aggravated murder, attempted murder, aggravated burglary, felonious assault, and inducing panic. He is pled not guilty by reason of insanity and was found competent to stand trial after multiple mental health evaluations. So, shooting occurred, as I say, at the facility of this warehouse where there are 150 employees. Hello, Sarpi. How are you, my darling? Foster, who had been working for several hours before the incident, allegedly opened fire on co-workers, killing Kyle Vaver, 38 years old, and Shekar Chapagai, 30 years old, and injuring four others. Witnesses did report no prior confrontation, and some employees did not know the shooting had started until police arrived. So that's where we're at with this. Hello, Christine. How are you, my darling? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. I know you've been a member for a lot longer than that, so thank you for your constant support, Christine. Hope you're doing well, my darling. And if you want to make Sarah P a very happy girl, you can hit that like button on the way in, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on the way in. If you'd like to support the channel, best way to do so is buy me coffee or PayPal. Right, we pin that, and then we'll go on to where we are with the case. Pin message. Did I do it right? I think so. Yes, I did. Hey, Sarah P. Hey, Christine Fornatinato. So the prosecution, as Assistant Prosecutor Tyler McCoy, testified that Foster had a plan to kill co-workers he believed were responsible for his impeding firing. There's prosecution, so he's about to be fired, so that's why he shot them, allegedly, is what the prosecution's saying. The prosecutor alleges Foster concealed a loaded handgun in his backpack, changed clothes, and deliberately targeted victims. They argue he was capable of understanding the wrongfulness of his actions. The defense are saying that he was in a confused state and was in the midst of delusions due to schizophrenia with paranoia. They argue he believed most people's reality did not exist and that the victims were unwitting participants in his delusion. The defense is seeking an insanity verdict, stating the case is not about what happened, but why. Okay, so there we are. This is also a bench trial. This is not a jury trial. This is a bench trial. Still got some titties left to go there. So yeah, the judge gets to decide regarding this case. So they have decided to go bench on this one. Right, let me see where I am with this. Right. So today is day one. So we're playing catch up, but I think that is nice and easy to do. So let's do so. I'll play it at 1.25. Hopefully that is fine. And people, football season is here. And if you're a 49ers fan, then obviously your owner and your head coach both are in the news constantly. And your owner has allegedly some issues with prostitution. So $140 apparently. Subscribe to my sports channel. There you go. Right, let's get it going. Let's get it on. Let's see what we can do here on this one. So yeah, here we are. Let's see what happens with it. So as I say, this is a bench trial. This is the accused. This is obviously the prosecution. This is obviously the defense. So let's get it on, shall we? Let's go with it. I don't want to talk about. I don't blame you. I don't blame. But it might make you stronger.
Multiple counts of aggravated murder, felonious assault.
Hang on. I think you just started very quickly there. Here we go.
Proceed. You have an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. McCoy? All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bruce Foster committed multiple counts of aggravated murder, felonious assault, aggravated burglary, as well as inducing panic when he engaged in a targeted mass shooting on February 4th, 2025. All 19 counts in the indictment containing 3-year and 1-year firearm specification, as well as a forfeiture specification for the Glock 26 9mm handgun. Bruce Foster intentionally engaged in these acts. He was aware of the acts that they were crimes. He understood the nature and quality of his actions. On February 4th, 2025, Bruce Foster was scheduled to work at KDC 1 from 2:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. This was a relatively normal day for Bruce Foster. He woke up at noon, smoked some gelato marijuana, which has a high potency of THC, 23.5%. He ordered an Uber to work, and he arrived at work late, even though he was on a corrective action plan for attendance and tardiness issues. At 2:38 p.m., Foster walked into the front door of KDC 1, a manufacturing warehouse building. He walked past a clearly marked sign indicating that no firearms were permitted in the warehouse. He also walked past a security guard. Bruce Foster brought a loaded handgun that day, disregarding
CG, how are you, sir? Strap her in, new trial.
the clearly marked sign. He concealed it in his opaque backpack. He committed a trespass by doing this. Foster has been warned before about his opaque backpack. He was also aware from a January 8, 2025 meeting with Quality Assurance Supervisor James Himes, who you'll hear from today, Your Honor, that subsequent unauthorized absences or tardiness would result in termination. After committing a trespass in the occupied structure, he stored his backpack containing a loaded firearm in the first production office. He went to a change of shift meeting. He then worked on line 7 and 17. He took his break and went to the cafeteria to buy a pop around 8:45 p.m. Bruce Foster, however, had a plan that day. He deviated from his normal workday. At 10:06 p.m., he went back to the first production office to start executing that plan. Between 10:06 p.m. and 10:18 p.m., Foster changed his clothes to conceal his identity, hid his backpack under his flannel, and concealed a loaded handgun in his pocket. He called his getaway car at 10:09 p.m. so that the Uber would be there when he finished his plot. Angry about his plight of impending homelessness and his dire financial straits, he engaged in gun violence that day. At 10:18 p.m., he headed toward the production line of the warehouse to implement his plan to kill and maim his coworkers. Upon entering the production line, Foster pulled his loaded handgun from his pocket and walked straight toward line 17, where Foster's first target, second shift offsite manager Kyle Vaver, was talking with his second target, Nick Harris. Nick Harris was a line lead for line 17 that night, the same line that Bruce was assigned to work as a quality inspector. Bruce raised his firearm and pointed at Kyle Vaver, shooting him on the left side of his head at point-blank range. He shot him dead, execution style. This killing was cold-blooded, which indicates prior calculation and design. This was not a momentary impulse. Foster then shot Nick Harris in the left forearm. One of the projectiles ricocheted off the ground and hit Bim Tamang in the ankle, leading to prolonged hospitalization and multiple surgeries. After Nick Harris was shot, he took off running, and Bruce Foster gave chase, shooting Nick Harris again in the neck. Nick Harris was luckily able to escape through the nearest exit. Bruce Foster followed him out of the door, but re-entered the warehouse. He was not done yet. He concealed the firearm in his pocket. and walked past countless other employees. He was determined to complete his course of action. His next targets were his coworkers in the quality assurance department. He aggressively entered the QA office and immediately shot Shekar Chapagai in the left hand and on the left side of the head, causing his death. After shooting Shekar, defendant shot Chapagai in the top of his right shoulder. A struggle between Foster and QA Inspector Govind Sharma ensued. During that encounter, Foster pointed the firearm at Govind and pulled the trigger, shooting him in the facial area. While Govind Sharma was courageously trying to wrestle the gun away, Tika Tomasini, who you'll also hear from, was able to help, and they were able to get the gun away from Mr. Foster. Foster then was no longer the only person with a firearm. Fearing the legal consequences of his actions, he fled the scene in the nick of time in his Uber at 10:25 p.m. While in the Uber, Bruce Foster changed his blood-stained clothes. During that process, he transferred Govind Sharma's blood onto the Uber driver's side, or the passenger side door. The Uber driver, Ramesh, will testify that he dropped Mr. Foster off at his residence in Columbus, Ohio. There were approximately 15 911 calls as a result of Mr. Foster's actions. KDC-1 was evacuated, and nearly a dozen police agencies responded to the emergency scene that Bruce Foster created. The murder weapon, the Glock G26 9mm, serial number CBVZ530, was recovered from the scene. Bruce Foster purchased this same handgun from Vance Retail LLC on September 21st of 2024, which was days after he was put on a performance improvement plan for work performance issues. On February 5th, 2025, the next day at 9:59 a.m., Mr. Foster was arrested at his apartment in Columbus, Ohio. There was still vomit in the bathroom from the night prior. That vomit was because he was stressed about what he had just done. He killed 2 co-workers and seriously injured 4 others. The blood-stained clothing was located in his apartment, as well as his black book bag. There was 9mm ammunition and a gun box with a serial number matching the gun used in the warehouse. He was interviewed at the New Albany Police Department. He admitted to purchasing the firearm, but declined to answer questions relating to his involvement in the shooting. He was evasive and denied his involvement, stating he does not know what happened at KDC and people were just running. Not once during the interview does he say he acted in self-defense. That is because he wasn't. There was no imminent threat. He could have left the scene when he ordered the Uber at 10:06 p.m., yet he chose not to. There were viable means to escape or retreat if there was a threat, but there wasn't. Bruce Foster has raised the defense of not guilty by reason of insanity. Although he suffered from a serious mental illness, he was aware of the wrongfulness of his actions. He knew that his actions were illegal and that he did not have a legal justification. He knew that he was squeezing the trigger of a loaded firearm. He knew that bullets would kill people. He knew that he was firing bullets from a handgun at his coworkers. And he knew that murdering people is a crime. He had a plan to kill, and he followed through with it. In fact, he had a motive to kill. He was a disgruntled employee who could not hack it even when he was doing his best. He self-admitted that his biggest problem was financial stress, not threats or fear of physical harm from his coworkers. He recently resigned from his other job because he did not show up to work and was a subpar employee, just like he was at KDC-1. He was about to get fired from KDC-1 because the very people he killed and seriously injured were part of the reason he was having to be remediated at work. He was on the precipice of losing his job at KDC-1, and he wanted to end the lives of those he perceived had a plot to get him fired from that job. At the end of this trial, Your Honor, the state asks that you find Mr. Bruce Foster guilty of committing all of the crimes listed in the indictment and find the defense has not overcome the presumption of sanity. Bruce Foster was aware of the illegality of his conduct when he shot and killed 2 coworkers, Kyle Vaver and Shekar Chapagai, and seriously injured Nick Harris, Bim Tamang, Shekar Chapagai, and Govind Sharma, which led to the mass evacuation of hundreds of employees and non-employees from KDC-1 in New Albany, Lincoln County, Ohio. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Short?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Bruce Foster sitting next to me. He has no criminal history in his life. He's a 30-year-old man, as he says before you. At 28, he was in the KDC warehouse. At 28 years old, he also had no criminal history ever. Your Honor, what you're going to hear throughout the course of this trial is that 5 forensic psychologists have all evaluated him. All 5 agree that he suffers from schizophrenia of a paranoid type, that he was in the midst of delusions, in fact, a systemic delusion that incorporated our reality into his misunderstood delusional reality. Your Honor, you're hearing kind of early, and I expect you to hear it again from prosecutors talking about motive. Your Honor, motive is something that can be attributed to somebody who's acting rationally. But then what I think you're going to hear from witnesses is that none of them actually had any problem with Mr. Foster. and Mr. Foster had no idea about anything going on with his personnel file. I think you're going to hear that instead of a criminal history, what he has is a psychological history. It started in the middle of 2021, so about 3.5 years before the incidents that take place here. Started in Georgia when he was with his sister, and it included more or less all of his family over time. Your Honor, the incident with his sister, he called and made a report to police who noted that there was a murder for plot hire in Bruce's mind against himself and his sister. He called and reported. It was over a $7,500 dispute that his sister at that point knew hadn't really happened. She didn't pay anybody $7,500. So at that point, his sister was aware that something's going on in his mind that's not actually happening. Something like the next year, Your Honor, we get to April of 2022, he's back with his mother. So now he's staying here locally with his family. Police are called because of volatile behavior. This is a progression for him. The volatile behavior gets the police called, and he reveals to the police that he believes he has cured COVID or maybe cancer. He tells them that his mother is trying to kill him for insurance money. That his mom is aware, there's one, that she's not trying to hurt him, and two, that there's no insurance money. Police from the Columbus Police Department react appropriately. They take him to Netcare Forensic. Netcare gets him to Mount Carmel for a 72-hour hold so that they can evaluate him. At the end of the 72 hours, Your Honor, they don't believe that they have the appropriate findings to hold him involuntarily. So they release him, and within 6 weeks, they're responding to another call at his house, also involving his mother, and this time an adult male cousin. You know, what you're seeing is with aggression. Something that the court should focus in on is that from all the way back in 2021 on, Bruce is never treated psychiatrically with a psychotropic drug, so no medication to help him. So as he presents before the court, restored to competency and able to process everything that we're processing, that's not the Bruce that ever existed until this court ordered what Netcare Forensic eventually said, which is that he needed to be restored to competency. Your Honor, on that second pink slip, he tells the police who go to put him into their cruiser, just kill me, just do it now. He perceives that as he's being held by police, that that's impending doom. And it's the beginning of a delusion that involves the police department. Your Honor, at that point, his mother realizes she's become quite a trigger for him. He continuously believes that she's trying to hurt him. And think about the relationships we're talking about. These are the most personal ones in his life. This is sister, brother, mother, father, and eventually grandma. Your Honor, reports will come from witnesses that Bruce was a loner, that he didn't have a lot of friends, even when he had coworkers at work, that he didn't interact with them very much, that in his personal life, he didn't interact with anybody. Your Honor, the second pink slip, he gets put into some behavioral. So that puts us in the middle of 2022. They diagnose him with acute psychosis. He is very much living in a delusion, and that it's acute in nature. Again, we're going to go another 2.5 years before he's actually treated for any of these symptoms. He reports that people are trying to harm him. They give him a prescription that he doesn't fill for stress. He reports that he's unable to sleep at night. They give him a prescription that he never fills so that he can sleep at night. And they prescribe him for the first time in his life a psychotropic medication to help cessate the symptoms of his schizophrenia that's acting on him with a diagnosis that he doesn't agree with. Problematic here is he's got the support system around him, Your Honor, is that he's got HIPAA rights. He's over 18. And because he believes his family is trying to harm him, he doesn't want them to know any of these diagnoses. And he doesn't agree with them. He believes that he's acting rationally and that other people's are irrational. At that point, he's linked with North Central Mental Health. He never goes. At times throughout the next 1.5 years or 2 years, he is nearly homeless. He's got family around and they don't let him fall into homelessness. They try to support him, but he holds everybody at arm's length. He doesn't want them around him. He believes that everyone's trying to harm him. That gets us towards the end of 2024. He did have 2 jobs. Remember, Bruce has attended the University of Akron. He has some undergraduate education. He ends up taking a class at Ohio State, or at least some sort of a educational study at Ohio State. I don't know if it was a formal class. And he's working at Chipotle on campus on the side. He does end up either resigning or being fired. When he's asked about it, he believes he was fired. And Your Honor, we're at 2024 now. When he thinks he's getting fired, he thinks that this is the act of the mafia. He thinks that they have targeted him from the time he's very young, that they've infiltrated his family or his family has joined them, and that these actions of being released or fired from Chipotle, which is not borne out in Chipotle's records, they say he resigned, but that these things are further demonstration that his mental health is spiraling. He's still never been medicated. He didn't fill any of the medications that he was given when he was pink slips. He didn't follow up with any of it. Shortly after that, he does buy a gun. That's going to be in September of 24. Your Honor, his paranoia has extended to the point he thinks that he needs to carry a weapon so that he can go to Ohio State University safely. He never uses it, but later on he discloses that that's why I bought it. There had been some sort of assault on campus that he thought necessitated it. Your Honor, by October of 2024, so the month after he buys a handgun, he turns himself into an emergency room, complaining of bullets in his elbow and in his knee. He's complaining of pain. This is a somatic delusion. He's misunderstanding what's happening with his own body. So he turns himself in. He gets about 7 x-rays while he's there. He reports that he's either got lead or a bullet still there. Remember, the notes indicate there's no compress that would show that a bullet had entered his body. There's no exit. We don't see any physical signs of this, but he's convinced. So they do 7 x-rays and report back to him. You don't have anything in your body. He also doesn't believe that. This continues to be something that he believes. These persecutory delusions, somatic delusions, misunderstanding his own body, and delusions of grandeur, where he believes that he's cured things like cancer or COVID, are all indicative of somebody who's deep into a schizophrenic delusion, which he was at that time. Still no treatment, Your Honor. He gets to the beginning of February. He's still working, but typical for somebody suffering from these kinds of delusions and with this much mental health problem, he's struggling. He's struggling to perform. He's getting to work late. He's struggling once he's there. He has got a lot going on in his mind that doesn't match with what we see. So at some point, there's a conversation, and the prosecution is going to try to turn this into a motive. Bruce doesn't know about any of it. At the beginning of January, they have a conversation with him about his work performance. But from January, approximately January 6th until about February 4th, we've got a month. And in that time, he's working 5 days a week. Different than in the past, when his mother would sometimes pick him up and take him to work, so he didn't have to spend money on an Uber. For the last few months, he had been Ubering. He doesn't trust her to get him to and from work. So he's taking an Uber from his home to work and from work back to his home. Ubers aren't getaway vehicles, Your Honor. They're just the only means of transportation that Bruce had, and he's been using it for some time by February 4th. When he gets to work that day, he's not disguised. He walks in to a place where people know who he is. He walks in for his scheduled shift. He walks in and works approximately 7.5, a little bit more than that, of an 8.5-hour shift. During that 7.5 hours, Your Honor, he is on cameras continuously throughout the facility, and he's doing his job. Nothing unusual to him that day. But his paranoia is such that he later reports he knew at the end of that shift he was going to be murdered. He was going to be hanged by coworkers, and he specifically knew which ones. They had been part of a delusion as unwitting participants in the delusion for some time now. Your Honor, what you're hearing is it's targeted killing. Your Honor, these people were unwitting targets from everything that can be gleaned from all of the records and all of the interviews. Not one of them had ever had a disagreement with Mr. Foster. Not one of them had ever believed him to be a bad employee, given him a dirty look. To be clear, Your Honor, every one of these witnesses is completely innocent of any sort of disagreement with him. They didn't even deserve an argument with him, much less what happened. So you're going to hear our questions are sparing for these people. They were just unwitting participants in a delusion that Bruce was having, and they were there on that day. Your Honor, on that day, Bruce, in that confused state, does walk into the warehouse. He does open fire on people. It's captured on video. The prosecutors will play it for you. But what you're going to find out is that when he left there, he went straight back to his house, took a shower, and went to sleep in the house that he had been living in. He has an Uber trail because he orders an Uber from the warehouse straight back home. That's exactly how they find him. They follow the Uber straight back to his house. And he opens the door when police get there. I think he's got like a chain. He interacts with them, and they go in and take him into custody. And then he interviews. Your Honor, at the end of this, all of the accusations, as far as questions of fact, are likely to be a little contested. You see the list of stipulations. It's significant. Your Honor, the reason is that this is not about what happened. It's about why. Thus, the plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Your Honor, we think that after hearing the facts in this case and hearing from the medical experts that an insanity finding is probably the appropriate outcome here, and would ask the court to make that finding. Thank you.
Thank you. Your first witness.
Oh, yes, sir.
It seems these trials for like insanity defense are becoming more and more. They're coming more and more to the front now. I don't know what to think about them. I've not watched the Lindsay Clancy one, so I have no judgment about that. I know that's some sort of insanity defense. I know, if you remember the I don't remember what state it was, but if you remember the woman that killed her husband and tried to drown her child because something to do with fish or something, and she was completely insane. And when she was getting arrested, she was praying with people. She got obviously didn't go to trial because of, you know, she's diagnosed that she was psychotic and was insane. So she's now in facility. I just don't, you know. I don't know. That's what I thought about whether would you go for a bench trial or jury trial here, because so many people on a jury just have, you know, their own stance about mental health. I'm just thinking, would a judge be better off? But the judge is more like, you know, black and white. That's why I get lost with some of these. I really don't know. I don't know how we can say whether someone's insane and someone's not insane, and it's tough. I agree with you. I think we're going to see more and more people claiming insanity. I think previously people just would scoff at it and go, well, you're a murderer, blah, blah, blah. which is, probably still the stance for most people. But then, again, I have not watched any of the Lindsay Clancy stuff, but I did see a protest with people cheering for her and stuff, and that I don't know why they did that, and I might be missing something, but I'm like, I don't get that. How you can cheer for her with pom poms, not pom poms, but it's like a party atmosphere. I'm like, I can't comment because I can comment on the protest because I disagree with it. I can't comment on her defense because I don't know what her defense is. But it's a little bit insane to me that there's like a party atmosphere to a certain extent. I don't know. It's very confusing to me. And I shouldn't speak because I've not watched any of that trial. But then I've watched other trials when people gone for insanity pleas, and it's like most people just scoff and go, "No way." I just don't know if we can. Where do you draw the line on all these things? I have a mental health condition where, I have, constant intrusive thoughts about, if I don't do something, someone's going to die, or whatever. So I have that compulsion, and I have to deal with that every single day. So yeah, I understand the mental health thing because I have it, but it's a norm now. It is, but like it was supposed to be a silent protest, okay, to show her that she has support from my son. Well, I don't know what that is fine if it's silent support, but protest, but cheapers. When I saw the clapping and cheering, I was like, this is really not good. This is not a good look. And again, I've not watched it, so I shouldn't comment. I'm only commenting on the protest, not actually the trial. But for anybody, I just don't agree with that. A silent one, okay. I mean, a silent protest for the children, I would get. Silent protest for her. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's watch this. I'm going to make a quick coffee whilst they get the first witness on. But yeah, so this is an insanity defense. Yeah, here we go.
9B. So I just wanted to ask you, it looks like you were a IAI criminal investigator, like a crime scene?
Just a certification.
Okay,
yes.
what does that entail?
So it's through our International Association for Identification. It's a crime scene certification you get. So what it entails is a test that you take and you're certified then as a criminal investigator.
Okay, and were you employed?
The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
Okay, and were you employed with, is it BCI is for sure?
Yes.
Okay. Were you employed for BCI on February 4th of 2025?
Yes.
Okay, in what capacity?
So at that time, I was a special agent assigned to the crime scene unit.
Okay, and what does that exactly entail?
So that entails local law enforcement agencies may need assistance with crime scenes. Occasionally, if they're short on manpower or if it's beyond their scope of expertise, they may call BCI to get assistance.
Okay, and did you get a call for service or assistance on February 4th of 2025?
Yes,
Okay, and what agency called you?
the New Albany Police Department.
Okay, and what was the reason for that call?
So they contacted my supervisor, Josh Sters, regarding a shooting that had occurred at a warehouse
Okay, and where was that warehouse located?
in New Albany.
Okay, is that Smith's, let me pull up, we have a stipulation as to number 11 on State Exhibit 39. It says 8825 Smith's Mill Road North,
Yes, that's correct.
and that's in New Albany,
Yes,
Licking County, Ohio.
yes.
And what was your knowledge of the shooting at the time that you arrived?
So prior to arrival, my supervisor had asked me to call out our entire Southern crime scene unit, not knowing many of the facts at that point. Upon my arrival, I spoke with Chief Jones with the New Albany Police Department. I arrived maybe a half an hour after midnight, so on February 5th. He had advised that they were still securing the building for safety reasons. And at that time, he had advised that they had had a shooting inside. They were clearing the building to ensure there was no additional shooters and that there had been multiple victims. One was deceased inside and multiple others were transported.
Okay, and did you make contact with the Deputy Babcock?
Yes.
Okay. And when you made contact with Deputy Babcock, what did he do?
So to begin with, around 4 in the morning when we were able to access the building, we had gone to the front of the building to review some camera footage and also speak with Deputy Babcock. Deputy Babcock advised me he was one of the many that were first to arrive on scene, and I asked him to give me a walkthrough of where he had been inside the building, just to get an idea of what we were dealing with inside.
Okay. And so did you meet Deputy Babcock in area E or by the front door?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 45. Let me get this off.
Wait for them. You stay outside and wait for them to come out. Okay, listen, hold on. Hold on.
Do you see these two people here?
Yes.
It's not showing up on yours.
It is. Yeah, I see them on the screen.
Okay. And are they two of the shooting victims?
I don't know. They weren't. I did not see them when I was there.
Okay. And so Deputy Babcock just kind of walked you through where he went.
Correct.
Okay. We started in the front lobby.
Who shot you
With
guys?
Deputy Babcock.
Do you know who it is?
Yes, Bruce.
Sir, you did not put
Outside. I don't care. You can put the jacket back in a minute. Outside.
That's my dad, man.
Hold on. Listen. I'm trying to figure out who shot you so I can get
About
them.
QA, Bruce, he shot one of our QA and he shot him and I grabbed the gun in the process of taking his gun away from him. I got shot and I took away gun and it's over there. I give it to the lady.
Okay. So Bruce shot you.
Yeah, all of us, not the
And
state.
you took the gun.
Yes.
Like, that's the gun that Bruce shot you with. So Bruce is the only person that shot you.
Yes.
Okay.
And one guy is probably like, he shot him like,
Can you just make
I
sure he's
called-
okay
I
or
called
not? You
911.
can talk to us later, man.
Hold on. Okay.
I called 911 already. They
Okay.
still have the-
Bruce, B-U-R-C-E, right?
Yes.
What's Bruce's last name?
Foster.
Foster, okay. Okay. Listen, okay. At the far south end, I've got officers down at the
Hey,
south
just
end.
go make sure that he's okay or not, please.
Okay, listen, well, they're outside? Okay, at the far south end. Okay, there's PD out there as well. Okay. 68 Sunflower. Yeah. We've got about 3 shots outside. I need at least 3 medics up here and some other units to scene control. Okay. Back to you, but I can't get him until it's safe here, okay? What was Bruce wearing?
I fought him. I took away gun from him in the process. I get the gun to my knee. Probably. That's all I know. And he.
Okay. Okay. Where are you exactly?
We were just inside the jury.
No idea where I'm sorry.
Okay.
We can get it back.
No, we've got a mess going on here, but I can't talk right now. I've got right here and I've got Golden and I've got
All right.
Shekar with me.
Cigar.
Okay.
What does it look like right here?
You're all right. You're talking, you're breathing. That's all that matters, okay? All right. Hold on, I need you to watch out for a second. Where are you shot at, buddy?
I think they're down there. I cannot
Your shoulder
my head.
blade. Okay, hold on.
I cannot.
I know. Listen, it's gonna hurt, dude. Okay, you're shot in the back. Okay, can you breathe? Just keep breathing. That's the only thing you can do right now. All right.
No, they have the retrieve the gun.
It's coming. The medic won't come until it's secure here. Okay, listen. Hey, I'm gonna walk you 2 out, and we're gonna go to the medic. All right, and we're gonna get you out of here. Okay. No knives, drugs, weapons, guns. We may still have shot in the back of the shoulder, shot in the head. We may still have them on scene. So I'm trying to get them in the back of the squad and get them at least out of this area. Right back to the truck. I'm walking my job, and I'll be back yet. I need everybody out until I get fire over Bruce's back. If you got a car, get in your car. Go to the edge of the parking lot. Everybody needs to get away from here. As far as right now, there's 2 on the south side, these 2 right here, and probably 2 more right now. Just trying to figure it out. Incident command's gonna be at the south side building with you all day. All right. Then I think we need to get that guy out of here. The 16. Do we need to move him? Take him to the medical?
Is this the QA office?
Yes.
Okay. Is this what you call area D in your PowerPoint?
Yes.
Drag him. And you want to drag him right there? Isn't it, Mira? I got shell casings in here. Yeah. Is this our shooter? I have shell casings in the floor right here. I got shell casings in the bullet.
I don't know. That's the victim right here. I don't know. He was unresponsive when I was texting.
Hi, Coco, by the way. How are you doing, my darling? Hope you're well. Nice to see you.
Hey, you got another set of gloves?
I got him, Brian. You just covered.
All right.
They made contact with any other officers? Okay, what officer did they make contact with?
New Albany police officer Sarah Vinca.
Okay, and what did you learn from Officer Vinca?
So Officer Vinca was stationed to stay with the deceased in Area B. And she had pointed out, I'm sorry, Area A, and she had pointed out that when she had arrived, she had noticed the deceased proceeded to go out the main door that was in that area and found approximately 30 or more people outside. A couple were injured.
Okay, so the defendant went out the man door? You said the deceased went out the man door?
No. She advised where the deceased was. She
Okay.
saw the deceased inside and then proceeded to the man door in the back and described how she saw multiple personnel from the warehouse outside.
Okay, and so KDC was evacuated?
Correct.
And you created a PowerPoint regarding this particular case?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 9A. Okay, is this the PowerPoint that you created?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you this warehouse layout here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so Area A, can you describe what happened in Area A, where it is?
Sure. So Area A is on the east side of the warehouse. The body of Kyle Vaver was located in Area A. Also included in Area A, if you look where it says man door exit, if you go outside of there, there was some evidence outside. And this is where the New Albany police officer had advised people were standing outside.
Okay. And Area B, is that what we just saw on Deputy Babcock's body camera?
Yeah, so Area E is just west of Area A. Where the arrow is pointed in that picture, that's where the office is. So Area B consisted of the office as well as just outside of the office where we located evidence.
Okay. And so Area B would be the quality assurance office.
Correct.
And Area D is where Shekar's body was dragged to by Deputy Babcock?
Yes, based on the blood that we saw, I would assume medical intervention had occurred in this area.
Okay. And Area C, can you describe what Area C is?
Yes, so when we had reviewed some video surveillance, we were originally advised that the suspect had left in an Uber vehicle. So we wanted to see where he exited to help us identify any potential evidence. Per the video, Area C is the exit of the suspect. So all of the arrows you see, he went down aisles between 4 and 5, continued south out of the building, and then turned left, so turned east, and then exited out the main door next to Bay 7.
Okay. And I'm showing you the slide on your PowerPoint of Area A. Is this Kyle Vaver right here?
Yes.
Okay. And is he deceased when you made contact with him?
Yes.
Okay. And it looks like you marked a Black Hawk holster as A1?
Correct.
Okay. Whose holster was that?
We don't identify who it belongs to. We just collect it as an item of evidence.
Okay. And who is the only person who you believe had a gun in the warehouse at that time?
We were advised that Bruce Foster had had a firearm on him, and per the video, we did see a gentleman walking through that area.
Okay. Who you believe was Bruce Foster?
Correct.
Okay. And did you see a picture of Mr. Foster?
Not at the time, just the video.
Okay. And do you see Mr. Foster here today?
Yes.
Okay. Can you point to Mr. Foster?
He was wearing.
So they're not denying, like, Bruce Foster killed them and shot them. The defense are not going to deny this. it goes back to, again, they're just laying the foundation, hopefully quickly, because ultimately he's admitted to it. Like the defense have said, he did it all, but he did it because he was insane. So I suppose they've got to lay the foundation, but hopefully they can do this quickly because we know he did it. You know.
A blue formal shirt with the tie.
It looks like you also found a cartridge, A3. So that means it's unspent, right?
Yes.
Like it hasn't been
Correct.
shot? Okay.
Correct.
So how could a unspent cartridge just end up on the ground or some potential way?
So it could happen many ways. Someone could have it in their pocket, in something that they're wearing, a backpack. It could fall out. Again, they could wrap the firearm and it could eject. Just multiple different ways that you could have a cartridge.
Okay, so I could shoot a gun and then think I need to rack it, and then
Sure.
unspent casing might, or cartridge might fly out.
Yes.
Okay. And how many casings did you find right here?
In this area, we found 2 9mm casings.
Okay. Does that indicate at least 2 shots
Yes.
fired? And this is Kyle Vaver again.
Yes.
Okay. And this marking right here on the ground, was there anything of note with that particular marking?
Yeah, so this was marked as a ballistic event, and it was believed to be a ricochet of a bullet striking the ground.
Okay. And was there a victim that was shot by a ricochet shot?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe this particular slide?
This is just another overview of evidence that was collected. You have item 4, which is a pair of broken glasses, item 3, which was that cartridge we saw on the previous slide, and item 2, which was the 9mm casing.
And then this is Kyle Vaver.
Yes, this is just an overview of evidence as well as the deceased.
And how did you determine that he ended up in the way he is in this photograph?
So the pooling of blood underneath his head would indicate that he was there and had not been moved from that spot.
Okay. And how did you believe that he ended up in this position that he's in?
There were suspected gunshot wounds to him.
Okay. And did the video that you reviewed from KDC show that?
Yes.
Did it appear to be a close range shot?
Probably intermediate. I'd have to review the video again.
Okay. And is this just a lining up of all the different evidence that you found in this particular area by Mr. Vaver?
Yes.
And what is this particular, what's the significance of this photograph?
So this is marking item 10. When we reviewed the video, the hat that we located on the table appeared to be the same hat that the suspect was wearing.
Okay. And the suspect being Mr. Foster?
Correct.
Okay. Did that hat fly off of him when he was running?
Potentially.
Okay. And did anyone exit through this particular door?
So according to the video, Mr. Foster had opened that door, and there were a lot of people who had evacuated out of this door as well.
And did he chase anyone out of this door?
Yes, he chased them, but then had turned around and come back inside.
And this is just a close-up of that particular hat?
Yes.
This is green jean hat, is that what that is?
I believe so.
All right, and what is this photograph showing? Is this right outside of that door that we just saw in area A?
Yes, this is on the east side of the building, just outside the door.
Okay. And it looks like on A14, there's another cartridge.
Correct.
Okay. And so we saw the holster back there, right, back in where Kyle Vaver was shot.
Yes,
But now we're seeing another unspent cartridge.
that's correct.
Okay. And could that indicate maybe a gun jam or a racking of the slide?
Absolutely.
This is just a close-up of the projectile in A14, correct?
Cartridge, yes.
Yeah, or not above the cartridge, no, unspent. And is this just another photograph of area B?
Yeah, so this is area B, and if you were taking this photograph, the office would be directly behind you.
And so there was a projectile found right here.
That's correct.
Is this believed to be the projectile that came through the window?
Potentially, yes. As we didn't find any more.
Okay. And then you find another cartridge right outside.
Yes, so where you see in that top right picture where the number 3 is, that's where that cartridge is. And beyond that, if you were to go straight down that yellow walk there, that would lead you into area A. And then between 3 and area A, there was a drip trail as well.
Okay. And we saw Deputy Babcock's body-worn camera, and it looks like he dragged.
That would be in the opposite direction where he drove the victim.
Okay. And is this inside of the quality assurance office?
Yes, and by number 4 there, you can see drag marks from the blood.
And what does this indicate right here, this particular photograph on your slide?
So this is a ballistic event that we had marked.
Okay. Does that mean a projectile went through that?
Yes.
Is that believed to be the projectile that went through Shekar Chapagai, his shoulder?
I can't determine which one went through there, but one went through both.
Okay. And how many casings did you find in this room?
So 2 casings were located in these photographs, and then additional was located, so 3 total.
Was found in the QA?
Office, yes,
And so that would mean at least 3 shots were fired in that?
at least, yes.
And you took swabs of suspected blood, or at least someone from the crime scene unit?
Correct.
The crime scene technician? Okay. And what is this photograph depict right here?
So this is Area C. We just wanted to get a good view of the exit of the suspect. So behind you would be Area B, and then going forward, that's where the start of Area C was, between aisle 4 and 5. And then when you look at the picture to the right, that's about a halfway point. When we watched the video, we did see Mr. Foster bend over about halfway through for a few seconds, stand back up, and then continue on.
Okay.
So the picture on the left is at the very end of the aisle, looking toward the direction he traveled, and then moving forward, that's where he exited, just next to Bay 7.
Okay.
So this photograph here is just showing Area B's office. As you can see, there's a blood trail that goes through, that's going to eventually lead to Area D. This is created by a drag.
Okay, so when Deputy Babcock.
Yes.
And what does this photograph depict?
So this photograph is showing, if you look at the top left photograph, looking to the left of the picture, that is going back to Area B. To the right of the picture is where you see Area D and going out to the front office. Or I'm sorry, the front of the building. In Area D, we did collect swabs of the stains, the blood stains there as well.
Okay. And this is Area E?
So this photograph on the left is looking back towards D, and to your left would be where you're going into Area E. Then when you turn to your left, that's showing exiting at Area E.
And so this would be the front door?
Correct.
And this is in Officer Deputy Babcock's video. This is where you saw the 2 victims who were sitting on the ground?
Yes.
And what does this photograph here of Area E show?
So these are just items that have been collected in Area E inside the building. So E8, as you can see, is a white jacket and towel with suspected blood. E9 is a transfer stain on the counter, which was also swabbed and collected. And then E10 is just below that counter, another transfer stain in the swab of the suspected blood was collected.
And is this the front door area of KDC?
Yes, so this is looking at the front door, also Area E just outside.
And you found a hairnet outside?
Correct.
All right. Is this the firearm that was located that you believe was the murder weapon?
Yeah, so crime scene technician Dylan Weichel had collected this firearm from Sergeant Terrence Lima, if I'm saying that right. He had placed it into Cruiser 64, so this was then turned over to our CST.
Okay. And did it have a magazine?
Yes, it was handed to him with the empty magazine and 1 loose cartridge.
Okay. And did he indicate whether he took out the?
I believe it was handed to him all separated.
Okay. So someone may have.
My assumption is they made it safe, yes.
Okay. And that's typical.
Yes, if you're going to move a firearm, then yes, you want to make it safe.
Okay. And in this particular picture on the right, it says scene 3. What is scene 3?
So scene 3 is Bruce Foster's residence. As you can see, the serial number on the firearm that we identified from scene 1 was CBVZ530. We found a empty Glock 26 case with the same serial number inside of Bruce Foster's home.
Okay. And so they match.
Correct.
Okay. Were you aware of the receipt from where Bruce Foster purchased this particular firearm?
Was this inside his residence, you're saying?
No, they collected it later.
No, I was not aware.
Okay. And this is a photograph of scene 3, and that is Bruce Foster's residence, you said?
That's correct.
Okay. And what did you observe when you went into the bathroom of scene 3?
So just to give you some reference, we're looking into the bathroom here. To your left would be the door entering into the apartment. So this is immediately to your left. And inside here, we located a black backpack with various items, which we'll see on the next slide. And then item 2 is going to be all of the clothing that matched the video inside the warehouse with suspected blood on it. And then that top left corner there is suspected vomit all over the bathroom.
Okay. And whose vomit is it suspected to be?
I can't say, but I mean, being Bruce Foster's apartment, you could assume that it was his.
Okay.
Especially with his clothing right next to it.
And you said the clothing on, that's under 2, the exhibit sticker 2, is had blood on it?
Correct, and it appeared to match what was in the video that Bruce was wearing.
Okay. And was that, those clothing items sent over to the BCI for DNA testing?
I believe so. New Albany Police Department would ultimately submit.
What else did you locate at Mr. Foster's residence?
So inside that black backpack that was in the bathroom, you can see various personal items. There's some Narcan, blue gloves, his badge to the warehouse. Also inside of the black backpack, we located a box of cartridges, 9mm cartridges, and then also a magazine that had been loaded with 10 cartridges. And those were placed aside for photographs.
Okay, so these items were inside of that book bag?
That's correct. We just separated them since they were firearm-related evidence. And it says 11.1 there, but it should be 1.1.
Yeah, 1.1 right here. It says
Correct.
there. Okay. And Narcan, what is that used for?
So that's typically used for an overdose.
Okay. Of what kind of drug?
It could be various drugs.
Okay. And is this the clothing with suspected blood that was found in the bathroom?
That's correct.
And these are the items that you believe that he was wearing at the time of the shooting?
Yes, it appeared to match the items in the video surveillance, which we'll see on the next slide.
Okay. And this is Mr. Foster
Yes,
at the warehouse
yes,
right before the shooting?
that's correct.
Okay. And what does that appear to be?
That appears to be a firearm.
And so it looks like you have a scene 2 as well. What was scene 2?
So scene 2 was the Uber vehicle that was believed to be used by Bruce Foster to leave the warehouse. I had my supervisor, Josh Durst, go process that. He had located 3 transfer stains in the rear passenger side of the vehicle and had collected a swab of suspected blood from the door.
Okay. And that was sent off for DNA testing?
I believe so.
Okay. And are these the items that you collected from his residence on the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. So we got scene 1, which is the warehouse, which has what, A, B, C, D,
And
E.
E, correct.
Yeah, okay, so 5 areas within scene 1. Then we have scene 2, which is the Uber,
Correct.
and then scene 3 is his apartment.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you were present at his apartment as well?
Yes.
And so you haven't seen the DNA results?
No.
Okay. Was that a firearm sent off for source comparison analysis?
Yes, it should have been.
Okay. All right. I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 21. This is Daniel Steiner's.
Yes.
Okay. And does it appear that he did a source identification analysis?
Yes.
Okay. And what's source identification mean?
So this is really outside of my area of expertise to testify about, but he is potentially, in this case, trying to match the casings to the firearm.
Okay. And so this has been stipulated too. What is a source identification?
So according to this, the observations provide extremely strong support for the proposition that the evidence originated from the same source, and the likelihood for the proposition that the evidence arose from a different source is so remote as to be considered a practical impossibility.
Okay. So essentially, some of the casings that they found at the warehouse match this particular firearm.
Correct.
Okay. And it was operable.
Yes.
So you said you observed video from KDC 1?
Correct.
Okay.
Just enough to give us areas of where we would need to process.
So I'm going to start. Okay. So this is State's Exhibit 2A. I'm starting at 2:53 in the video at 9:56 p.m. Is this some of the video that you were reviewing?
I saw very short snippets. We had other SIU agents who were reviewing most of it. I saw snippets that could help us find the evidence locations.
Okay.
So potentially I could have seen some of this.
Okay. So I'll show you through here. Does this appear to be Mr. Foster right here?
Yes.
Okay. And is this flannel appear to be the same flannel that you found in his residence?
Yes.
Okay. What about the black pants?
Appears to be yes.
And you saw that particular video?
Yes.
Okay. And have you seen this particular video where KDC employee zooms in and follows him?
I don't believe so in this one. The previous one was area A, but
Yeah. So this is area A as well.
yes, okay, yes, I saw this. This is that original video, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that a close-up version of what we just saw?
Yes.
And this video is showing Bruce chasing after Nick Harris down line 7, right?
Chasing someone, yes.
Is that Bruce right there running?
Yes.
Did you see something
Which
fall
was
off?
the one where everybody was running there.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
What's your question to her? To identify who the suspect is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody was running down. So.
Yes.
Is this Mr. Foster here?
Yes, with the flannel shirt.
You put a mark on the screen. It'll show.
Can I
Touch
do
the
it here?
screen. Yeah, right.
Did you see Mr. Foster run down this line 7 right here?
I believe so in this video.
And then this is Mr. Foster here?
Yes.
And where is he heading toward?
He's heading toward that man door in area A. Or I'm sorry, away from the man door in area A.
And is this Mr. Foster right here?
No, I don't believe so. Oh, I'm sorry, yes, up there.
Okay. That's at 10:20 p.m. Does this appear to be Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Okay. And this is at 10:20, 28 p.m.?
I did not see this video, but yes.
Okay.
It appears by the timestamp there.
And where is he heading in this particular video isn't here?
It appears he's heading towards his exit.
Okay. He's not heading toward area B?
I apologize, I haven't seen that video.
Oh, okay. Is this area B right here in this particular video?
Yes,
Okay. And is this the QA office?
yes, behind, yeah.
Okay. Does this appear to be Mr. Foster?
Yes.
And is this after he exited area B?
Again, I haven't seen this video, but according to the timestamp, yes.
Okay. Well, what about your review of the scene?
Yes.
Okay. Where is he walking now based on your understanding of the scene?
That appears to be area C, his exit. And then this is area C as well, down through aisle 4 and 5.
What does he appear to be doing now?
Just stopping and bending over, just like I notated before, we got pictures through, search for any kind of evidence, but just bending over on his way out.
Does this appear to be Mr. Foster?
Yes, these are the videos that then we did see for his exit. So that's the main door that he exited out of next to A7.
And what time did he exit the warehouse?
According to the timestamp, 10:25 p.m. on February 4th.
And is it your understanding that he then got into an Uber?
Yes.
And where did he head after he got into an Uber?
I am not sure exactly where he headed, but he ended up at his residence.
Okay. Nothing further to say.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor. Taylor, good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Jeff Stavro. I'm going to ask you questions about it.
Okay.
So it's not disputed that this scene at KDC 1 was pretty horrific when you arrived, right?
Yes.
You're still trying to sort things out. And in fact, the law enforcement officers, first responders, still had no idea whether the shooter was actually inside the building.
That's correct.
You eventually viewed the video and the surveillance footage, which was extensive in KDC 1, right?
Yes, partials of them. Correct.
Right. It'd take a lot of time to look at every single surveillance camera.
Correct.
So the compilation that Mr. McCoy showed you barely shows Mr. Foster coming in and out of the KDC 1 warehouse, right?
Yes.
At no point during that time that do you see him wearing a mask, correct?
Correct.
So you can clearly see his face, right?
Pretty well.
Okay. He's African American too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see him pretty well as he's moving in and out of the warehouse, right?
Pretty well. Just more so clothing and the hat and everything. Correct.
Okay. And I believe it was Deputy Babcock during his body worn camera footage. I'm referring to State's Exhibit 45. There was one of the victims who lived, thankfully, said, "Bruce shot me, and I took the gun." So it's pretty well established that Mr. Foster was the shooter at this point, right?
From what we were advised, yes.
That's the theory you were working off of. You knew where the shooter was, just didn't know where he was.
When we first started, we didn't know who Mr. Foster was. So we typically focus on more of the evidence aspect and more of the locations that we need to view.
Got it. Okay. So eventually you were able to track him to his house, correct?
Yes, personnel, I believe, from New Albany Police Department did.
Okay, I guess when I say you, your team or the law enforcement team
Sure.
that was charged with investigating. So maybe not you personally, but you eventually learned that he took an Uber to his house, right?
Correct.
And that Uber wasn't to some motel, right?
I don't know. That's where I'm unsure if he went anywhere prior to his residence.
Okay, got it. But you eventually did discover that scene 3, I believe it was scene 3 in your PowerPoint, was Mr. Foster's residence.
Correct.
He didn't go anywhere else but home, according to what you understand of the Uber trip.
I don't know enough of it. We've more of just processed the scene aspect and go where New Albany Police Department requests us.
I understand. And it's fair to say that you found a substantial amount of evidence in Mr. Foster's apartment.
Yes,
So you found that he had vomited in his residence, in the bathroom, or what appeared to be vomit.
there appeared to be vomit in his residence bathroom. Correct.
You found clothing that matched the same clothing that he wore during the shooting.
Yes.
Okay. You found ammunition, 9mm ammunition, that matched the firearm that was recovered at the scene, right?
It's just cartridges in his residence, but it was 9mm.
Okay, the firearm that was recovered at KDC 1 was 9mm, right?
Correct.
And then the ammunition that was discovered in his house was 9mm
That's
ammunition too. Okay. And then there was a box, the firearm box that the gun was purchased in. That, to your knowledge, matched the firearm that was recovered at KDC 1, right?
The serial number is correct.
So it sounds like all this evidence was preserved for law enforcement to find pretty easily, right?
It was preserved for New Albany Police Department. Yes.
Okay, so New Albany Police or you didn't have to go digging through a dumpster, right?
Correct.
You didn't have to go into the sewers.
That's correct.
You didn't have to check a nearby retention pond or some other place. That would be a really good place to stash evidence, right?
Yes.
It was found not only for you to preserve for this case, but also in Mr. Foster's apartment.
That's correct.
I noticed that there was a Narcan box in there. Narcan is generally, a drug that reverses the effects of an opioid or drug overdose, right?
Correct.
Based on your knowledge, was any of that used?
Not on my knowledge, no.
So that appeared to be an intact package.
Yes.
Again, he exits the KDC 1 warehouse towards the end of the footage that you went through with Mr. McCoy. He's not wearing a mask, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And even with him wearing his hat, were you able to still see his face?
Yes, once the hat came off, you could see it.
Okay. And clearly, some of the people that were some of his coworkers at KDC 1 were able to still see his face because they said it was Bruce that shot him.
Yes.
And you notice that there were multiple people. I believe Judge Brains will ask you correctly identify which one was Mr. Foster because there were just a lot of people running by.
Yes.
And so there were, again, chaotic scene. A lot of people don't know what's going on. They don't know which way to run. Do you see Mr. Foster running at times in tandem with people?
Yes.
He's not shooting those people, is he?
It doesn't appear, no.
Okay. How many people would you estimate, just based on your knowledge of watching the video, do you think he ran past?
A lot of people. He ran past a lot of people.
Okay. You're going to add a little.
Sure.
No further questions. Thank you.
Let me verify something. The video you were shown is a compilation of different cameras from the inside of the facility.
That's correct.
And was that shown in sequential order, meaning the earliest in time is what we saw first? And
Yes, after viewing it, yes.
okay.
Oh, okay. So the judge was like, "Hey, I'm gonna ask questions."
Redirect.
Oh, you should. Were you aware that Mr. Foster was wearing other clothes when he originally arrived at work at 2:38 p.m.?
I did not know that at the time of processing. I learned it after we were done with our end.
Okay, so you were aware that he was wearing different clothes when he entered? Now?
Now, yes.
Okay, and so his clothes that he was wearing at the time he entered KDC were different than the clothes he was wearing at the time of shooting?
What we were advised, correct.
And were you advised that he changed again at some point?
Into the blue flannel, yes.
And where was his book bag or backpack?
He had it on his back.
Okay, and where was it in relation to the flannel?
Oh, you mean under, yes, it appeared to be underneath the blue flannel.
Okay, and what is that an indicator of, just in your experience?
I mean, just, it could be anything. He could be hiding it, or he could have put a flannel over. I don't know the intentions, but.
Okay. And when someone's wearing a hat, is that potentially concealing one's identity?
It could be,
Okay. And so you said it came off when he was running.
yes,
And then you said there was some vomit in the bathroom.
correct.
Based on your experience, what is that usually an indicator of?
You're queasy.
Okay. What about after you just may have shot a bunch of people?
Sure, yeah, it absolutely happened. We've seen it a lot.
Okay, like a stress response?
Yes,
Mr. Stavroff asked you about, oh, there's people there that were able to identify him. And that's because they weren't dead, right?
correct.
Okay, so some of the victims who he didn't complete his mission to kill were able to identify him.
Yes,
Okay. One second. Nothing further.
Recross.
Yes, Your Honor. May I have just 1 second?
Sure. Sure.
Agent Taylor, just a couple of questions based off of Mr. McCoy's recent questions to you.
Oh, so he's allowed in court with his suit on, but he has to wear his shackles. So,
To your knowledge, based off of reviewing the video and also conferring with your colleagues, Mr. Foster reported to work wearing his uniform, correct?
based on my knowledge that we were advised, yes.
And everyone wears a pretty uniform at the KDC 1 warehouse,
It
right?
appears so, yes.
Okay, it's either a black shirt with the KDC 1 logo on the right hand side.
Yeah, they all,
he may have requested pink. I'm not going to judge it, This is a bench trial, so I presume they just, wanted pink ones. I have no idea, actually, why he's wearing pink. Good spot.
to have the KDC logo,
So he's blending in at that point, right?
correct.
Okay. When he's committing the shooting, he changed his clothes and he's wearing something that no one else was wearing, right?
That's right.
At least to my knowledge, I could be wrong because KDC was a very large facility. He's the only one in these videos that's wearing a flannel shirt, right?
That's right.
He's the only one that's not wearing a face mask, right?
Yes.
He's the only one that's wearing a blue hat, American Eagle, or I forget what Mr. McCoy said. It's a very light blue hat, right?
Yes,
So he's not blending in when he's doing this, right?
that's correct.
Thank you very much. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may sit down.
Thank you, Your
Your
Honor.
next witness.
James Himes.
Well, finally, Bad Daz is back. So welcome back, Bad Daza. We've only done about 20 streams since you've been away. I'm joking. I hope you're doing well, Brad. I hope everything's well with you. We're only doing a few streams here and there, waiting for the football season to start. I do hope we can do Mark Sanchez on the 9th or something like that of September. Anyway, let's get back to the trial.
That's true stuff you got. Yes, I do. State your full name, spell your last name, please, for record.
James Frederick Himes, and then the last name, Himes.
Yeah, first one, sure. Okay, I'm hitting what's been marked as 6 to 22. So that's just for reference later. I just wanted you to have it. So, all right. So on February 4th, 2025, did you work at KDC1?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what was your position at KDC1?
As the QA supervisor.
Okay. And what does that entail?
For that, I was managing a 24-hour facility. So first, second, and third shift QA technicians and making sure that they're doing their jobs. Any issues that pop up, I could approve or disapprove the quality of the products. And then if anything else were to pop up, to escalate it up to my manager.
Okay. And how long had you been?
I've just pumped it up to 1.5 because I think it's only maybe CG, Bad Daza, and UESRP. So there's three of you here. So I know that you all can cope with 1.5 at least.
A QA supervisor?
I believe close to a year.
Okay. So about 2024? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the beginning of 2024?
I believe so. I believe it's beginning of 2024.
Okay.
I've worked at KDC for a total of 4 years. So 2 years as a microbiologist, 1 year as a supervisor.
Okay. Do you still work at KDC1?
I do not.
How come?
After this incident, I decided to start looking for another job.
Okay. Did you know Bruce Foster?
Yes, he was one of the QA technicians.
Okay. And do you see Mr. Foster here right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what was Bruce Foster's role when he was under your supervision?
He was one of the second shift quality technicians. So he would go to the production lines, he would check batch, he would ensure the batch changes were happening appropriately, make sure that the quality of the product that was being put out by the production personnel was up to our standards and customer standards.
Okay. And did you have any issues with his work performance?
Toward the end, we did. At the start, of course, if I was going to be issues, you hire a new person, you're training them. But we did have write-ups. But we had write-ups. We had issues with him sleeping in the office was one of the write-ups. We had an issue with attendance, and then just overall performance issues throughout this time there.
Okay. And so, do you remember when Bruce Foster started working for KDC1 again?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. If you could look at States Exhibit 22A, it looks like an offer letter.
Looks to be 4/1/2024.
Okay, so he started working there again on 4/1/2024. All right, and you said that it's common for some people to have some issues at the beginning, at least.
Yeah, during training period, I mean that's common to see. So
okay, how long is the training period? Would you say?
Typically 60 to 90 days.
Okay, so 5 months is more than 60 to 90 days. Okay, and if you look at C2 in there, in that packet,
Yes.
all right, does that say check-in 15-day human resources?
Correct.
Okay, and it says Bruce Foster at the top.
It does.
And it has your name at the top, supervisor?
Correct.
Okay. What is this 15-day human resource letter in C2?
This is a form that human resources would go over with the employee or with Bruce. They would just, it's a general check-in form to see how they're doing after about 2 weeks on the job.
Okay. And on number 3, it says, how are other employees making you feel welcomed? What did he say?
The response here just says good.
Good. Okay. And you said that there were some performance issues?
There were, yes. We've had issues, and they may not be documented, but this is for other techs as well. Issues where they miss something, they miss a check, and it leads to rework. So additional labor hours being spent on prepping or remaking the product for the customer.
Okay. I'm going to point your attention to 22G. What is 22G?
This is a corrective action form given to Bruce.
Okay. And what's the manager name there?
My name, James F. Himes.
Okay. And what did this corrective action from 9/10/2024, what did that entail?
As part of the batch change procedure, Bruce performed it incorrectly. So because he didn't perform the batch change correctly, no line clearance form or startup form was completed. And because that's part of the batch change procedure, it wasn't performed correctly, it led to product being scrapped.
Okay. And this was from 9/10/2024, right?
Correct.
And you said he started on April 1st of 2024?
Correct.
Okay, so it's about 5 months after he started? Okay, you
Correct.
said generally people take 30 to 60, 90, 30 to 90 days, maybe to
60 to 90 days.
60 to 90, okay. And so this is after, okay.
Correct.
And was there a plan for improvement on Safe Exhibit 22G?
Yes, there was.
Okay,
Additional training will be given for Bruce on proper batch change procedure. The SOPs to be trained on are an explicit OHQAPO 123, Inspector Daily Routine, and OHQAPO 1W0016 line clearance execution.
okay. And so he had to get some remedial training?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm showing you 22H, which is right after that?
Mhm.
Okay. Is this the remedial training that he may have gotten?
Correct, it is.
Okay. And so what date was this training?
The training was from 9/16/2024.
Okay. And did he sign this QA form in 22G, which is right before that one we were just talking about? Did he sign that?
Yes, he did.
And what day?
He signed it on 9/16/24.
And so you trained him up, and did he have any additional performance issues after that?
He did.
So can we look at 22J?
Yes, 22J.
Okay, and what date was the issues on 22J for this corrective action?
The date of this is 11/12/2024.
Okay, and what was the issue in this particular corrective action?
This corrective action is for improperly verifying a product that was used in the production line. Because he went around the process of correct verification, I issued him this corrective action because it's important to make sure that the correct product code is used and attached to the line.
Okay, and who discovered the discrepancy?
The line lead assigned to the line discovered the discrepancy and notified the second shift QA lead.
Okay, and who would the QA lead be?
That'd be Tika Tensina.
And it says he was on what, line 3 that night?
Yep, line 3.
Okay,
So
so
11, 12.
11, 12, 2024. So does each line have its own line lead? Is that how it's set up?
Yes, each line would have its own line lead. Typically, sometimes there'd be one lead for 2 lines, but almost always there was one lead per line.
And how many QA inspectors per line?
QA inspectors per line, it could be anywhere from 1 QA inspector per line up to 1 QA inspector for 4 lines. It depends on the demand and how short-staffed we were that day.
And how many lines was Mr. Foster generally given?
I believe 2 to 3.
And did you interview him for this particular issue?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what was the corrective action step?
The corrective action step states Bruce will receive training on SOP, OHQAPO 123, the daily inspector routine, which contains how to verify totes and tanks correctly. And then starting 11/18/2024 to 12/2/2024, the second shift lead will perform random checks of Bruce's totes and tank verifications.
Okay, and you said who's the second shift lead?
Tika.
Okay.
Tensina.
Okay, so he's essentially being micromanaged for that particular period of time. Okay. And so it looks like it's progressive discipline. Is that how you guys would interpret it? You have
Correct.
coaching, verbal, written.
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct.
And so this was, he had an issue in 9/11 of 24, and then now he's having this issue for performance.
Correct.
All right, let's look at 22L. Do you see 22L?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay, and is this another corrective action form?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what does this particular corrective action form deal with?
This corrective action form is detailing attendance issues that Bruce had.
Okay, and it looks like you had some no call, no shows for 4 days in October of 2024?
Correct.
Okay, it looks like 10/4, 10/8, 10/9, and 10/10 of 2024.
Correct.
Okay, no call, no show. Do you guys have a policy relating to that?
We do have a policy relating to it. I couldn't remember it off the top of my head.
Okay, well, that's copy. And as it relates to termination, is that something that potentially could lead to termination?
Yes.
And it looks like you also had an absence called on 10/7 of 2024 and 12/17 of 2024.
Correct.
And then 1/2, it says 2024, but was that 1/2 2025?
I believe there should have been 1/2/2025, yes.
Okay. And it looks like it says he has 23 points.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
The attendance system would give out points. So if you were late, you get a certain number of points. A no call, no shows a certain number of points. A tardy, again, another certain number of points. And after an accumulation of 10 points, it's supposed to be termination.
Okay. Did this kind of just slip through the cracks, or?
I think it did, yes.
Okay. And how does that happen?
For me, one person running a 24-hour facility by yourself, I mean, you can't juggle everything. And when you're left to manage everyone on your own, things like that can slip through. And so that's why this was issued as the final corrective action form for it.
Okay. And so on the second page of 22L, it looks like there was a plan for improvement. And what was that?
It has been discussed with Bruce multiple times. The expectation for Bruce is to improve his attendance. As for KDC's attendance policy, late in, early out is also assessed. The expectation for Bruce is not to accumulate any points going forward within 1 year. Any point that Bruce accumulates will result in termination.
Okay. And it looks like he gave a comment.
Correct.
And what is that comment?
I've been late due to transporting through Uber.
Okay. And then does it have initials?
Yep, BF 1825.
Okay. And then is there a signature from you and a signature from him indicating 1/8/2025?
Correct, there is.
Okay. So as a result of this, he was on notice that if he's late again or doesn't show up, he's going to get terminated, right?
Correct.
Okay. And your company at that time had a policy about how late a person could be?
Correct.
And how late was that?
If I remember correctly, it was 7 minutes early, 7 minutes late.
Okay. So if you're 8 minutes late, is that a violation of the policy?
According to KDC, yes.
Okay. And so based on this note right here in 22L, would that result in termination, even though it's 1 minute?
Based on this, yes.
Okay. And then let's look at 22M. It should be right after 22L. So this looks like another performance issue.
Correct.
Okay. And what did this performance issue deal with?
It was performing box checks on the product incorrectly. So for timestamps of 1946, 2049, 2144, and 2256, he performed all of them at the same time at the 2300 hour instead of performing them on the line at the designated times when they were produced as per the policy.
Okay. And who reported this violation? The 1/3/2025.
It'd be the third and second shift QA leads.
Okay. So multiple people were reporting on him?
Correct.
Okay. And then what about on 1/6/2025?
A similar issue again. The second shift lead found that Bruce had held 2 boxes of finished good, article 28005176 with timestamps of 1938 and 2019. So again, holding on to the product and then doing the checks at a later time, which is against our quality process.
Okay. And so what was the performance plan for this particular incident?
Bruce is to be retrained on the process pertaining to box checks, including SOPs OHQAP 0124, QA Inspector Daily Routine, and OHQAP 01W004-05, AQL inspection levels for BBW-VS code.
So in layman's terms, he needs some more remediation. Okay.
Correct.
And what was the check for corrective action step here? On the first page of 22M.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
For 22M, what was the corrective action step? What was the check mark for this particular corrective action?
Final.
Final. Okay. And what does that mean?
This would be a final warning prior to termination.
Okay. And so how many chances do you get after a final warning?
It's supposed to be after that, if you have another corrective action, that'd be termination.
Okay. And on January 10th, 2025, were you made aware of any additional issues?
Yes, I believe so. I believe I was made aware of him sleeping in the office at that time.
Okay. And who made you aware of that?
Again, my second shift QA lead.
Okay. And did he send you an email?
Yes, with a picture.
Okay. And look, if you look at 22O, is that the email that he sent you? And other people?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And was this problematic due to his other performances issues?
Yes, it would have been problematic for any of the quality technicians to be sleeping in the office.
Okay. And when you would interview Mr. Foster on all of these different corrective action, like, oh, we need to improve your performance type interviews, how would you describe the conversation and his demeanor?
A very typical interaction between a boss and employee getting a corrective action. The employee doesn't want to receive a corrective action, but you have the paper, you have the write-up, you're issuing it to them. And then I typically go over, what can we do moving forward to address this? Is there anything I can do better? Anything anyone else can do better? What's needed from me to help yourself here?
Okay. And for 22P, if you could look at that.
I have it right here.
Okay. On the top, it says corrective action step and it has a check mark.
Yes, it's on termination.
Okay. And what date was the incident from that?
The date is 1/10/2025.
Okay. And that was a Friday, right?
I believe so.
Okay. And do you guys have like an annual shutdown during that particular time frame?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And would Mr. Foster be coming into the office or coming into the warehouse rather during the shutdown?
Typically, no, unless there's work assigned to or people volunteer to come in. For our quality technicians, they almost, I would say 99% of the time would not be there for the shutdown.
Okay. And was Mr. Foster there for the shutdown?
No, he was not.
Okay. And it looks like it says you did not interview him until the week of 1/20/2025.
Correct.
Okay. Is that because of the shutdown?
Yes.
Okay. So from 1/10 to 1/21 when you interviewed him, he would not have been there for you to interview.
Correct.
That's what, 11 days. Right?
Yes.
Did Tika send him home on the 10th?
He was sent home, yes, at approximately 18:30 with company convenience covering the remaining time due to the number of production lines running.
Okay. And do you remember what his hours would have been?
As in his hours, he would have.
His working hours.
I believe it's 2:30 to 11.
Okay. So if he's going home at 18:30, which is 6:30, that's way early.
Correct.
And what did you do in terms of like asking him questions? How did you ask him questions? What did you ask him? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember. It had been to the effect of, why were you in the office? This is what I've seen. This is what people are reporting to me. Is it something that is personal? Is it work related? Is there anything I can help you with?
Okay.
Just trying to get some kind of general answer.
Okay. So you would have told him that people were reporting on him?
I believe so, but I don't know exactly what the wording would have been.
Okay. But you're not necessarily with him on a daily basis, right?
I'm at the facility on a daily basis, and we more than likely would have seen each other, but it wouldn't have been directly working with him.
Okay. Can you kind of describe the hierarchy of the quality assurance department for us?
Yes, so it would have been the quality technicians. Those are the people who would do the general work around the production facility, checking in with production, making sure they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing. Then I had 3 quality assurance leads, 1 per shift, and then all the leads reporting to me as a supervisor over all of it. And then I had a manager and a director above me.
Okay. And what's your manager's name?
Vignesh,
Okay. And what's your director's name?
Matthew Bombach.
Okay. For at that time.
Yeah, at the time it was Matthew Bombach.
Okay. So it says, could you read where it says due to our annual shutdown about what exactly he said? On 22P.
Due to our annual shutdown, Bruce could not be interviewed about the situation until the week of 1/20/2025. The QA supervisor interviewed Bruce. Bruce was asked why he fell asleep in the office during work hours. He answered that he was only assigned 1 line for the night and had no other work to do. He was also asked if the sleeping was related in any way to any other issues, and he replied with no.
Okay. And what do you mean by any other issues?
Possible medical, maybe just no sleep the night before, anything like that.
Okay. And he said no, nothing medical?
Correct.
Okay. And what was the plan for improvements in this particular corrective action form?
There was no plan for improvement. With these corrective actions being given to Bruce, the final action should be termination of employment.
Okay. And you said he was on notice from prior meetings that if he slipped up again, he'd get fired.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Why don't we take a quick break? Come back in minutes.
All right. And then there's another layer beneath you of supervisors before people are actually working on it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Who was the person that would report to you on second shift in that capacity?
Are you asking? Can you restate the question?
Sure.
Sorry.
No, if there's a supervisor below you that might report to you about things happening on the line, who would that person have been for second shift back in February of 25?
That would have been Tika Tinsina.
Okay.
He would be the second shift lead.
Okay. And is Tika who actually sent you the picture of Bruce where she thought he might be asleep?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And that was part of her job to sort of make sure things were running smoothly on the QA area, right?
His job.
His job.
Yes.
Okay. You said when people start pretty frequent that there are issues with them and you give them kind of a starting period. Okay. Is that called some sort of probationary period, or is it something that's internally understood that you don't tell them?
I believe it's more internally understood that there are going to be issues during training.
Okay. And that's somewhere between 60 and 90 days. Do you remember with Bruce how long it was?
I believe it was 60 to 90 days.
Okay. Does it depend on how you're doing, or does somebody set it?
It more depends on how you're doing.
Okay. This might have been 90 then?
60 to 90, again,
Okay.
just general.
Okay. You said overall you didn't see anything to give you reason to think that there were issues in the first 60 to 90 days, right?
Correct.
Don't see any notes in there. But there could have been problems because it's so common that you might not even document them, right?
Correct. Like one-off training issues where they weren't trained properly the first time, and then upon retraining, it's corrected.
Okay. And then once you're past that period of time, you're expected to be functioning at a higher level than in that beginning period.
Correct.
Okay. More likely that you would report it then, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In this case, it seems like some things were actually reported. He had something that you call 23 points, right?
Correct.
Okay. How do you get a point? I heard you say the ways that you can get that, but what's a point for showing up late?
I do not remember off the top of my head how many points that is.
Okay. Do you have any idea for like no call, no show? Meaning you didn't call off work and you were scheduled to be there?
I do not remember.
Okay. You know the cutoff for possible termination is 10 points though, right?
Correct. That was what was on that. Right.
Okay. He gets more than double that all the way back in January of 2025. He's at 23 points.
Correct.
Okay. If you don't remember something, feel free to grab the same paper you were looking at, right? And just let me know if you want to look back at it. You saw, let's see, as far back as November of 2024, something happens on line 3 and Tika reports it, right? I think that was marked as 22J.
The line lead had found the issue and then notified Tika, who then notified me.
Okay, Bruce isn't the line lead, right?
He is not.
Okay, so there's a line lead and then there's Tika and then there's you, right?
Separate departments.
But all of these people might have passed along a message if something was going on, right?
Correct.
Okay, and in that case, the system works. The message is passed along from the line lead to Tika to you.
Correct.
And it made the paperwork you have, right?
Correct.
Okay. Easy after the fact for you to make reference to. In that whole packet of paperwork, did you get that in anticipation of testifying today?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you turn any of that stuff in, or was it provided to you so that you could prepare for today?
What do you mean by turned in?
I mean, was that stuff that you got yourself, or was that given to you today?
This was given to me.
Okay. Does that look like internal documents from KDC 1?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Do you see the names Kyle Vaver and Nick Harris in there? Actually, let me stop and ask an easier question. Did you ever talk to Kyle Vaver or Nick Harris about Mr. Foster?
No.
Okay. How about Ben Tamang or Shekar Chapagai? Did either of them ever complain about Mr. Foster?
Not that I can remember now.
Cigar Wagley or Govan Sharma? Did any of those people come and complain?
Not that I can remember. No complaints. No.
Do you remember anybody having impressions of Mr. Foster, like that he was a loner?
I've been told occasionally it had some like weird things like talking to himself, but I also talked to myself, so I didn't think anything really of it.
Okay. You didn't get much context for whether it was a full conversation?
No.
Okay. Kind of mumble to yourself is the exaggeration I think you're using. Okay. It was common enough it flew below your radar when you heard something like that, right?
Yes.
Lands a little different now that you've heard that he was talking to himself, doesn't it?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. You talk about having a last chance. Is that what it's called? Last chance meeting? A final warning?
Yes, he had a final warning. He had 2 final warnings.
Okay. And that's all the way back to the beginning of January, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so when you say final warning, and he has 2 of them, final doesn't mean the same thing as it typically does. You have some discretion, right?
One was for attendance and one was for performance, so we separated the 2.
Okay. So you even have different kinds of final warnings. You get some leeway to let people stay who you think are working.
I wouldn't say I get that. I don't get to dictate who stays and who gets all that leeway.
Is your job more than to pass along messages from people who are above you in the department?
My job would be to report on what the issue is, and then the decision would be above me. I don't get to decide
Okay.
determinations.
So you're kind of the person in between the decision and the documenting.
Correct.
Okay. But you know of at least 2 final warning meetings, correct?
Correct.
You said Mr. McNesh and Mr. Baumbach were people who were above you who may have made a decision like that?
Correct.
Okay. Did either one of them, to your knowledge, ever have an interaction with Bruce?
I believe my manager, Vignesh, did.
Okay.
As far as the director, Baumbach, I'm unsure if they ever had any
Gotcha.
interaction.
Okay. But one of the 2 people who may be making an employment decision, whose positions were to make a keep or fire decision, at least one of them had talked to him also, correctly? Correct.
I believe so.
Okay. And then one of the reasons that you can make a decision, or your HR department wanting clarification, is if there's some sort of a medical issue, you can give people leeway, correct?
Correct, but that'd be again up to HR's decision.
I don't mean you,
Yes.
sorry, you're the company you use for.
Correct.
Okay. And in his case, the photo that Tika documented, the follow-up question in those emails is if there's something medical going on, right?
Correct.
Okay. They just want to be careful that they're not firing people who have medical issues, correct? It doesn't seem like KDC 1 was quick to fire people if it wasn't necessary. Is that a fair summary from you having worked there?
That's a fair summary.
Tried to work with their employees when they could.
Correct.
Okay. And sometimes when they said final, it didn't actually mean final. It might mean that they would have a little bit more opportunity if they wanted to get it.
Typically, the final was given, it was pretty final. There weren't too many, I don't recall anything where someone was issued a final and then they'd be there for a year or 2 years later. If they received a final, they were typically on their way out.
Typically because they may have another incident, right?
Correct.
Okay. But in this case, there were 2 different finals given, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can I grab just a moment?
Sure.
I have any further questions? Thank you.
What do they make of this?
Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secrets, mostly foam and soaps. Or beach shower gels.
Oh, yeah, sure. So there was a final on 1/8/2025 for performance and for attendance, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so those were both on the same day.
I believe so.
Looks like 22M is the performance. 22L is absences.
Yes, they're both from 1/8/2025.
Okay. And then you had another meeting with him after you fell asleep in the office.
Correct.
And that was after Martin Luther King Day in 2025?
I believe so, yes.
So like 1/21/2025?
Correct.
All right. Do you remember how you ended the meeting with Mr. Foster?
I don't remember my exact words. I remember stating something like, okay, I'll take this information, I'll pass it up to my manager and the management team and see what the decision is on this.
Okay. So on 1/21/2025, you said those words to Mr. Foster.
Something to that effect, yes.
Okay. And he's already been warned for multiple different things. That was your last chance, 2 weeks prior.
Correct.
Then he did something again. What is the protocol for complaining? Like, if someone wants to bring up an issue for someone, would they go directly to you like a line lead, or would it be like a QA maybe going to you?
It would depend on what the complaint is and what the issue is. If it's just a typical complaint like attitude or something like that, I can handle that typically. If it was something bigger, they could go above me and talk to my manager without me knowing about it. So there could be multiple different paths to handling different complaints.
Okay. And so if someone complained of Tika, he's not necessarily telling you who complained?
He may or may not, because, for example, he could go handle the complaint if it's a very simple work issue.
Did you ever check on the status of his termination?
I believe I did, but I can't off the top of my head remember.
Okay. I just had it. So you're an email chain with some people from HR? Remember? Okay. So I'll use that to- Sorry, I just had it. All right, so looks like it's after State's Exhibit 22E. If you can go to 22E, there's an email thread. It looks like it says removing Tika. So it's right after 22E is in the email thread. Yeah, for sure, sure. Okay. I'm getting an email thread. You see up in the middle, it says removing Tika.
Yes, it's here.
Is that an email from you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what does it say?
Removing Tika. I think we are all in alignment for termination as soon as possible. He is not scheduled to come in for shutdown. How would we like to proceed?
Okay. And who ultimately makes the firing decisions? Is that you?
No, that would be HR and then my manager or director.
Okay. And then who's ADT? Do you know what ADT is?
ADT.
Alejandro, maybe?
Oh, yes, Alejandro Del Toro. He would be the GM of the facility at that time.
And so you said HR, would it be like Senior Director Kathy Dunham?
It'd be Kathy Dunham or Amy Allen,
Okay.
the HR manager.
Thank you. Nothing further.
So I just have a couple of questions here. Were you working at the KDC warehouse on February 4th?
Yes, I was.
Second shift?
I was not working second shift. I didn't have a set schedule.
Were you there after 2:30 on that day? Sorry,
Yes.
that day? Okay. And then, to your knowledge, since the 21st of January, back in 2025, so you're backwards, from the 21st on, Mr. Foster showed up for work every day as scheduled, right?
I believe so.
And that was 5 days a week, was his normal schedule?
Yes.
So to him, he's just continuing to come in every day, even as there's this other conversation going on, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Who was that? Your next witness.
Catherine Dunham.
Mr. Truesdale, you see, you state your full name, spell your last name, please, for record.
Catherine Dunham, Dunham. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Miss Dunham. How are you doing? So, where do you currently work?
Oh, for KDC.
Okay. And what is your role at KDC?
I'm the Senior Director of Human Resources.
And how long have you worked at KDC?
Just over 4 years.
And have you been a Senior Director that entire time? So 2022, you made it started?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you do? What are your daily responsibilities as a Senior Director of HR?
So I have responsibility for 2 manufacturing sites for the human resources function. So the site in New Albany and the site in Groveport, Ohio. So I'll be responsible for kind of setting strategic direction from an HR function, compensation work, organizational design, help leaders with performance management, things like that.
Okay. What about firing decisions?
Yes, so I would review termination recommendations, yes.
Okay. And how can you explain to us how the termination recommendation process works at KDC 1?
Currently or before?
Before, yeah, back in January 2025 to February 2025.
So at that point in time, generally what would happen would be we would have an HR manager at the site. The HR manager would be working with the managers and the supervisors on the day-to-day performance management. We have progressive corrective action that we would follow steps if employees weren't performing to the standard that we needed them to. When it got, if the corrective action steps had been exhausted and we got past a final written warning, then generally what would happen would be the manager or the supervisor would reach out to the human resources manager, let them know about the situation. Then the human resources manager would send the information to me to review, and I would review and make sure that everything was in line with our policies, that there wasn't any sort of risk to the company, make sure that the employee was treated fairly and consistently, and then we would have our vice president general manager also review and approve.
Okay, and who is the vice president general manager?
At the time, it was Alejandro Del Toro.
Okay, so if an email were to say ADT, waiting on ADT approval, that's who they'd be waiting on?
Yes, that would be correct.
Alejandro? Okay. Did Caitlin Matos work for you?
She was a member of the HR team, yes.
Okay. At the KDC New Albany facility?
Yes.
And then what about Amy Allen?
Yes, Amy was the HR manager.
Okay. And so you said something about being in line with the legal side of things. What do you mean by that?
Sure. So part of my role would be to make sure we protect the company so that we are not making termination decisions that potentially could put the company at risk.
Okay.
So
like Americans with Disabilities Act and FMLA, things of that nature?
yes, that would be correct.
And Mr. Foster, how many times did he work at KDC 1?
My understanding from the file is he worked twice.
Okay, and so he worked there for a particular period of time, and then what happened?
If my memory is correct, he resigned.
Okay, and then did he apply for a new job?
My understanding is he reapplied, yes.
And then he got that job.
Yes.
And so I'm showing you State's Exhibit 22B. If you look at that packet in front of you, this right here.
Yes.
If you could look for 22B.
D was in David.
Yeah. Okay, so you're talking about, ADA and, FMLA. So this looks like this is an email from Mr. Foster, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And where does it say that he was currently living from his words?
Recovery home for substance abuse.
Okay. Is that could that have contributed to your, thoughts about, we need to see if this is a medical issue?
Yes, I could have.
And so he self-admits that he was in a recovery home for substance abuse back in April 30th of 2024.
That's what this email says, yes.
Okay. And he started working there again April 1st, 2024?
I believe that's correct, yes.
In his position, it was, what position was it?
The second time he worked for us, it was a quality assurance inspector.
And who would he report to directly?
I believe it was James Hines.
Okay, so that'd be a supervisor?
Correct.
And were you made aware of performance or attendance issues revolving around Mr. Foster?
Not at the time that they were occurring, but once the termination recommendation came to me, I would have been aware.
Okay. And do you remember when that would have been?
I believe it would have been probably late January 2025.
Okay. So like 2 weeks before the incident?
Approximately, yes.
And so Mr. Foster was sleeping on January 10th of 2025, from your understanding?
From the information that I was given, that is my understanding.
Okay. And there was a shutdown in between that period?
That is correct.
Okay. And is that every year there's a shutdown? How does that work?
Yes, generally we have a week-long shutdown, yes.
Does that delay things, like terminations, for example?
Yes.
Okay. And so once you were made aware of these issues, there was talk about, we need to make sure that it was not a medical issue. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And why would that come about?
Because if there was a medical issue that could be Family Medical Leave or Americans with Disabilities Act, we would want to give an employee the opportunity to address those issues before we made the decision to end an employment situation.
And he was given that opportunity?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And did y'all determine that it was a medical issue?
I do not believe that is not my understanding. No.
Okay. And so what was the decision? That he was already given a final warning, he was sleeping on the job, said it was not a medical issue. What was the decision from KDC's perspective?
I believe that the email I sent, I had told Ms. Allen to confirm with Alejandro Del Toro, who was the site leader at the time, that he was comfortable with making the decision to terminate me.
Okay. So Mr. Foster's termination was in the works.
That is correct.
Do you know why he had not been terminated by February 4th of 2025?
I do not.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about, are you aware of any workplace policies at the time regarding clear bags in the production warehouse?
Yes, we have a clear bag policy.
Okay. And can you kind of talk about what that policy is?
Yes, so employees who worked in the production, the warehouse areas where we were manufacturing product were required to use a clear bag.
Okay. And so would it be a violation of policy to have a non-clear bag inside the production warehouse?
Yes,
Were firearms permitted on the premises?
absolutely not.
Were there signs marking no firearms on the front door?
Yes, there were.
So if someone carried a firearm in, would that be a violation of policy?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know Kyle Vaver? Do you know who he was?
Yes.
Okay. What was his position at KDC?
He was a second shift manager.
Okay. And what does that mean?
So he would have been responsible for overseeing the operations of our second shift production.
Okay. And what do they call it? Off-site manager?
Off shift.
Off-shift manager? Okay. And what exactly, why do they call it that?
Because it wasn't the primary shift. So primary shift would be first shift when most of the management team worked, and then off shift would be second shift.
Okay. And how many shifts does KDC have?
3.
Okay. And what are the hours for each shift?
So first shift runs approximately 6:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. Second shift starts at 2:30 p.m. and ends around 11 o'clock p.m. And then third shift starts at 10:30 p.m. and ends at 7 a.m.
Okay. And why is there overlapping between second and third and first and second?
Yep. Basically so that we can continue to run the lines. So, and we'll have a kind of, they call it touch and go.
Okay.
So the incoming shift comes in, kind of has their meeting, and then passes off.
Okay. So like a briefing kind of meeting? Okay. 1 second. Really good.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Stop talking.
I
You nervous? You want to? All right. I just have a few questions for you, okay? I want to go back and talk just a little bit about some of the same topics, but I'm going to keep my questions kind of broad. Okay. From what I could gather, you never had any contact with Bruce Foster one-on-one. Is that fair?
That's correct, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Did you talk to people that you know of who did have one-on-one contact with Mr. Foster?
I don't recall.
Okay. And it might be because there were layers of shift leads, then a supervisor, then another supervisor. Is that fair?
That's fair, yes.
Okay. In that buffering system, you wouldn't have had any one-on-one contact, had your own impressions.
That's correct.
Okay. So you don't have any you can offer today. Fair?
Correct.
Okay. When you talk about Alejandro Totoro, he could make a firing decision, and he was someone you would interact with, right?
Yes.
Do you know who James Himes is?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see him here today?
I did.
Did you recognize him from KDC1?
Yes.
Okay. What was his job there?
He was a quality supervisor.
And he's one of those people in the different layers that would go between somebody who actually worked on the floor and you getting information, right?
That is correct.
Okay. How about Tika? Do you know that name from the emails?
I know that name, yes.
Okay. Just another layer and the people who would have been between somebody who actually worked on the QA floor and your level, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You said that there was a clear bag policy, and I think you're being asked that because Mr. Foster had a not clear bag on February the 4th, right?
I don't know that for sure. That's
Not
my
sure.
understanding.
Okay. How many clear bags or not clear bags do you know of that were pulled from people or points that were given to them at KDC1?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the
Sure.
question?
How often were clear bags or non-clear bags that rule? How often was that enforced to your knowledge? Do you ever remember somebody getting in trouble for having a non-clear bag?
I don't recall.
There's somebody who's working at the front. Is that person supposed to sort of be? Have you had a chance to watch a video of Mr. Foster going to and from the facility on February 4th? No. Is there somebody where employees are supposed to enter that might be someone who would enforce policies?
Yes.
Okay. And so if there was a non-clear bag policy, it would have been the first person who was by the door, who might be on a video at the entrance that would be enforcing that sort of policy.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody else that would be a supervisor can enforce it as well, though, right?
Anybody in management, yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, on February 4th, it was not enforced. Does that sound right?
I don't know.
Okay. Judge, I'll answer the question. Thank you. Thank you.
You testified about this email from Mr. Foster on April 30th, 2024, 22D.
Yes.
There's a phrase, I was wondering if it'd be worth electing for indemnity. What does that mean to you as an HR?
Yes.
Is it a policy the company had? Or
Indemnity, I believe that would be something related to our health benefits.
is it called that? Or is this a phrase he's using?
To the best of my memory, I believe there is an indemnity medical policy.
Was he responded to by the company?
I do not know.
Redirect.
One second. How many employees work at KDC1 in New Albany? Okay. And does that include non-employees as well?
No, that would just be KDC employees.
Okay. So are non-employees present at the KDC warehouse as well?
Yes, we utilize temporary workers.
Okay. And so how many given people would be in KDC like during the second shift, for example?
Probably anywhere 150 to 200.
Okay.
Between KDC and non-KDC.
Okay. And Mr. Foster was going to get terminated.
To my knowledge, I believe so, yes.
Okay. And do you know why he wasn't terminated sooner with having 23 points?
The attendance policy?
Yeah.
So my understanding in reviewing his file, the corrective action steps for attendance policy violations hadn't been followed. So we would need the supervisor to follow the attendance policy and issue the steps. So we wouldn't just bring someone in and say you have 23 points, your appointment is terminated without putting them on some sort of corrective action step.
Okay, so it may have just fell through the cracks.
Possibly, I don't know.
Okay. But so if it would have been identified sooner, would he have been fired sooner?
If potentially, yes, if the policy had been followed and corrective action had been issued for each of those, potentially, yes.
Okay. Not clear enough.
Recross, just real quickly. So you were the senior director of human resources for KDC1, correct?
Yes.
You didn't know if he was even going to be fired before February 4th, right? Or on February 4th?
I don't know.
No, and it's your job to know about human resources, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there would be a full conversation before it was ever made knowledge to an employee that a decision had been made, right?
Can you restate that?
Sure. Before somebody hears the words, you no longer work here, and they're involuntarily terminated, there would have been a lot of conversation, correct?
There would have been conversation.
Okay, and it would have involved people like you, and you weren't aware if there was a firing imminent, correct?
I believe based on the emails I had told Ms. Allen.
Prosecutors giving you those emails. I'm saying back then, from your independent memory, did you believe that a decision had been made to fire?
Can you restate that?
Going back to February the 4th. You've seen an email now, but back then, had a final decision been made for any sort of termination of Mr. Foster?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. And even if there had been a decision made, it would have to be relayed to an employee before they would know, right?
Yes,
You
that
don't
is
put them
correct.
on the email chain.
Correct.
Right, that'd be ridiculous. So they don't find out until after your group has made a decision.
That is correct, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Sagar. Shekar Chapagai. Okay, and what did that consist of, or what were you doing? Were you looking at bottles, or were you looking at boxes?
We were actually looking at bottles to see if there were any defects and stuff like that.
And do you know how many boxes or how many bottles you would look at during your shift?
I don't like to go.
Lots.
Yeah, lots of.
And was it fast paced?
Yes,
So you had to work pretty quickly?
yes.
And what happened if you didn't work fast enough for the line?
Like nothing really happens. Like if there is a major issue, like they have to do a rework and stuff like that.
A rework?
Yes.
So what's a rework?
Like they have to throw, I think, all the products out and they have to rerun the line again.
So it's kind of not good.
Yes.
Does the production line, right, they're a different division than the quality assurance line, is that right? So does the production line get frustrated if the quality assurance line is not going fast enough?
Yes.
And is it obvious to the QAs?
Yes.
Is there a board was there a board at KDC? A board that talked about what was happening with the line?
Yes.
And
Yeah, sorry, good.
and so if there was something on the board, would everybody see that board?
Yes.
So if the problem was with QA, would everybody know?
Yeah, like it would say like if the line was not working, it would say like line down or change over, something like that.
And would everybody know what was happening?
Yeah.
How many people worked on your shift as QAs?
I think 6 or 7.
So 6 or 7 of you guys would cover all the lines for the warehouse?
Yes.
About how many lines did you usually have to work?
2.
2? Okay. And if you were short staffed, would you have to work more?
Yes.
And did you guys all work that same 2:30 to 11?
Yes.
Did you work with Bruce Foster?
Yes.
And who else was on your team of second shift QAs?
Tika, Seth, Robin, Shekar, and me.
And how did everybody get along on your shift?
Good.
Did you have any problems with anybody on your shift?
No.
Was there anybody on your shift that had some trouble doing their job by themselves?
I don't think so. Like everybody was doing what they were supposed to do, I think.
Did you have to help out any of your coworkers?
From the beginning, I did, but later on, nobody asked anyone.
For the QAs, when you were starting your shift, how does it go? Do you guys have a meeting at the beginning of your shift?
Yes.
Okay, is that for all of the QAs?
Yes.
Who else is there?
Everybody from our team and everybody from the first team. So they would tell us like what is happening, like what's the main problem on the line.
So you kind of get information from the first shift people to know what you need to do on second shift.
Yes.
And what time does that meeting usually start?
It's before 2:30. It's start from 2:30. So
2:30?
yeah.
Okay. And would Tika be there?
Yes.
And he was your lead?
Yes.
Okay. Who was his supervisor?
I think James.
Okay. Would Vignes be there?
Because he would be there sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay. And Vignes was Tika's, is he the QA supervisor, or do you know what his position is?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's fine. So Vignes would be there sometimes, Tika. Who would kind of run that meeting?
Tika, or the person to the line lead whoever was working.
And then at the end of the shift, what would happen?
So same thing like 10:30, all of our team would get to the QA office and we would tell like what's going on the line and stuff like that to the third shift, so they can take over.
Okay. On February 4th of 2025, how did that shift go? Any problems?
No problem, like it was smooth.
It was smooth?
Yes.
Smooth shift? So did everybody get together or start to get together in the QA office toward the end of the shift?
Yes, me, Shekar, and Rubin were in the QA office. Like we were doing our things, like we did everything on our line. We went to the QA office for the shift change. Like, we were just waiting for everyone to get there.
Okay. So you're kind of waiting for the end of the shift and the shift change. Okay. While the three of you were in that QA room, did Bruce Foster come to the QA room?
Yes.
Can you tell the judge what happened when you first saw Bruce?
So Louison comes towards the QA office. Like we're supposed to wear a hair and beard net in our company. He wasn't wearing both of that. He just came straight to our office. He pulled out a gun and he showed Shekar first. Then he shot me.
When you saw him coming, were you looking out a window?
Yes.
And where were you in relation to the window when you saw Bruce come in the door?
Oh, like I was sitting on a chair next to the window.
After he shot Shekar, what did you do?
I couldn't do nothing. I just saw him like I just wanted to see where he got shot at. So I was running around to see where he got shot. As I was running, I got shot too on my back.
Can you show the court where you're pointing to? Is that your right
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
shoulder area?
Yes.
And do you remember the lights being on in the room?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the light was on.
Do you remember the lights going off?
No, after like going when he started like tussling for the gun with him, then I think like some of the light got thrown off.
So you turned to look at Shekar,
Mhm.
and then you got shot. And then what happened after that? You started talking a little bit, but can you tell the judge what happened?
So as I turned around, he was about to shoot me again. Like I was lucky enough that Govin, he grabbed the gun.
So you were sitting in the chair by the window. Where was Govin?
Govin was working on a computer in the front.
In the front, you said?
Yeah, it's like a small room. So
So he saw what happened as well?
no, he didn't know. Like he was working, he was facing towards the computer, and I was like this. So that's how it happened. Like he was actually working, so like he couldn't see
Okay.
what's going on.
So after Bruce shot you, you're turning. Govin,
Yeah.
did he turn around as well, or did you see him move?
Yeah, he was actually close to him, but like during that moment, I didn't think like he knew what was happening, you know. So when he shot me, and as he was about to shoot me again, I think then he reacted very quickly.
And you saw Govin
Yeah, grabbed the gun.
grab the gun that was in Bruce's hands.
Yes.
Okay, and I think you used the word tossing
Earlier,
earlier.
yeah. I think like when he was trying to get the gun off of him, I think like that's how the legs were thrown later on.
So when they started tussling, what did you do?
No, like as soon as you go and grab the gun, like I ran out, like I was trying to get help from other people, but nobody wanted to come in and
No one wanted to
yeah, so I was going back inside there, like I was from there, but like somehow like Tika had the gun, like after that I don't know what happened in the second.
So by the time you got back to that room, Tika had gotten there
Yeah.
and had the gun?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Govin at that point?
Yeah.
And what had happened to Govin?
I think like he got shot from here, like yeah.
What did you do after you saw Tika with the gun?
Yeah, like I think like our co-workers, like they took us to the front of the building and we sat down there and waited for the ambulance, I think.
Were you taken to the hospital that night?
Yes,
And were you treated for your gunshot wounds?
yes.
Have you fully recovered?
Mentally not, physically yes.
You have any pain remaining in your arm or anything?
Yes.
Yes. And you said not so recovered mentally.
Yes.
Can you tell the judge kind of what this has been like and how you've been dealing with things?
Yeah, it's really tough and like seeing the person you care about like cut their life taken away in front of you, you know, it's really hard to deal with that. So I would say
Are you able to work at this time?
no.
No testimony on it.
Cross-examination?
Testimony
Oh,
on it.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. Just a couple more questions. Were you working on January 10th when and did you see Bruce sleeping in the QA room?
Yes,
Is that the first time you had seen that happen?
yes.
And did Bruce attend the end of the shift meetings that would occur for the QA team while he was working there?
Like beginning of the shift or the end of the shift?
End of the shift.
No,
He didn't attend those?
No.
Do you know where he would be or what he would do?
no,
Did he usually show up at the beginning of the shift meetings?
yes.
Was he late?
Sometimes like everybody's late, sometimes no.
Thank you.
Cross.
Thank you. So I just have a few questions for you. Okay? Back on February the 4th, how long do you think you've been known Bruce Foster?
Since I started working there, for I think 8 months ago.
Okay, and did you work 5 days a week?
Yes,
Did you see him most every day?
yes,
So he's someone who you definitely knew as soon as you saw him, right?
Yep.
On the day that you're describing him coming into the office, when you looked over, did you know who it was
yes,
right away?
yes,
Okay. Was anything hiding his face?
No.
When you used to work, you have a mustache. Did you have to wear something
Yes.
covering your face?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have to wear it so that your mustache was covered?
yes,
Did Bruce have a beard back then?
yes,
Okay, see, a lot of times when you see him, he would have a mask over his beard, right?
yes,
He wasn't wearing a mask over his beard when you saw him in the office, right?
No.
Have you ever had any problems with him before?
no,
Just coworkers, right?
just go with it.
How about you mentioned Governor Shekar? Do you know if Shekar ever gave Bruce a ride?
Yes, he did.
He would help him at times, right?
Yes,
And he would give him a ride to his job because Bruce didn't have a car, right?
yeah, he actually dropped him like 2 times to his house because he didn't have a Uber or something like that.
He was kind to him.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know of Governor Shekar having any interactions that were bad with Bruce, right?
No.
Okay. And that's the same with you? No problems ever, right?
No.
Okay. appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you.
Redirect.
Something you're on, thank you.
Thank you, sir. You missed that.
Great.
If you get another witness.
Thank you. Hello, Logan, how are you doing today? I'm gonna ask you some questions about when you worked at KBC. Okay. How long did you work there?
About here,
And what was your position there?
QA, quality associate.
And did you work with Shekar?
Yes,
Okay. Who else did you work with?
Sagar, Saper, Tika, Seth, Bruce.
On the evening of February 4th of 2025, were you working with all those guys?
Yes,
And had you worked with Bruce for much of the time that you had been at KDC?
yes. I had to work on a different building, so I went back and forth, but that was only 6 months or 5, 6 months.
Okay. The 5 or 6 months before February
Yes,
that you were doing that. Did you still take part in the early shift meetings, at the beginning of the shift meetings?
yeah, usually because they didn't know that which building I was gonna go, and whenever they needed help other building, I would know later in the meeting, sometimes a little bit earlier, depends, but I usually go to KDC right away. That's what we do.
And then you would work in the other.
Yes, and then my supervisor would tell me like, hey, do you wanna help go to other building, next building, and then I would go.
Would you help out people that maybe were a little slower?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you sometimes help Bruce?
I helped him a lot, a lot.
And why was that?
Because he something like I helped other guys would catch up, and he was kind of new to the position, and sometimes you need help. And I know my other guys would tell me, hey, I need help, but he wouldn't tell nobody. So I would go to him, do you need help? I can do this, and help him a lot.
Would his line sometimes have troubles because he was unable to kind of keep up with what was happening?
Yeah, and like we have to pull a product for a sample, and he was having problem with that because you need lots of time to focus on the product, and at the same time you have to go to the other line. So I would have to make you can go to the other line, do your other job. I'll please this.
And would that help things run smoother?
Yes.
For those other lines? Did you ever observe people getting frustrated with Bruce and his struggles of trying to keep up with the line?
It was mutual because we were in the same position. We needed the pressure, and everybody did make a mistake, and he wasn't like, oh, this guy, he's the one. So
During February 4th, that shift, were there any issues or problems during that shift? That was unusual? Did I say February 4th?
he had a problem, but not what he did, but day shift, they had a problem with the line. Something has to do with paperwork, I don't know. And my first shift, people told me, hey, can you let this guy know we were working on that line to know about the fill out the paperwork or something? And as soon as I find out that Bruce was working on that line, I went to him and, hey, here's the paperwork you need to fill up. That's the only problem that day.
No issues or problems with him that day?
No,
Was he acting different than he normally did?
I didn't see him much after that. And I was helping the seeker all because he had a product in different lines. And I came from different building to help these guys after. So they just gave me one line that time and to help around people. So I was helping in the computer as well and helping guys at the full plus production. That day, I didn't see him after that.
After your initial contact? with
Yeah,
him?
first like beginning of the shift.
Was that the same as you normally would have contact with him? I mean, there was nothing different, anything that stood out about that contact?
Nothing. Everything is in.
Were you aware that Bruce had some attendance issues and some tardiness?
Yes. So there was one time he didn't show up for no show, no call for more than 3 days, and company should have been let him go, but I don't know what happened. And then whenever we were work scheduled with him on the weekends, overtime, he wouldn't show up. And then, yeah.
Did you ever see Bruce sleeping in the QA office?
Yes, actually we all did kind of, like whenever our job line, everything was done, we just took a nap. Yeah, so it wasn't out of ordinary, like.
When your job was done?
Yeah.
Was that normally at the end of the shift?
Or beginning, like if you're waiting for the next batch, you got nothing to do, then you just need to rest and get up, obviously.
If your supervisor found you sleeping when you should have been out on the line, would that have been a problem?
Yeah, problem. If they saw you repeatedly just sleeping there and then nothing, that would be a problem. But if they knew you're working on 4 or 5 lines and you got nothing to do, common sense.
Did you go to the QA room at the near the end of your shift on February 4th?
Yes.
And I think you indicated you were working on the computer and doing lines at that point toward the end of the shift around 10:15, 10:20 in the evening.
Yeah.
Were you working?
Around 10. I was helping Shekar for the first production that I told. I was helping to pull the bottle sample, and as soon as I was done with him, and we both went to the office. I went to the QA room, and he went to the other room, the first production area. He went there, and I went to the QA, and we started working on my shift report.
On your what report?
Shift
Oh, shift
report.
report. Okay.
That's not my job, but whoever gets the time to do it usually do it. So the lead and the supervisor doesn't get, So I was helping that, like all the problems from the line. I'll just
Put it down
put
into
it down
a
in the computer, yeah.
report. Was that then the report for the third shift people
Yes.
come in? Okay. Do you remember Bruce coming into that QA office?
Yeah, I was typing and asking the guys, hey, what's the problem on your line? Do you have any problem issue that I need to put it on the computer for the next sheet to find out? And we were discussing about that, and about 10, 19, I don't remember the actual time. We just saw Bruce walking towards our office without the hairnet, and when he had the look that he was just mad, you know.
So when you say without the hairnet, is that a big deal?
Yeah, it's a big deal because we run FDA product, and you need to have a hairnet, glasses. So
And you didn't have hairnet on, okay. And you said something about his face looking, you looked at his face and thought he looked angry?
yes,
right?
like mad. I thought he just fought with the people, you know. He fought, and he just that was my first initial thought when he walked toward us, and we just looked. Everybody looked at him like, oh, did he have a fight in the line or something? That was the first thought.
Okay, right. And so then what's the next thing you know?
And he just walked in. That is obviously everybody can walk in, whoever is QA. And he just walked in and just went to Shekar and the point blank, like about like this distance. And Shekar like no, bro, and he just shot him. Shekar went down the floor, and then next he went to Sagar, shot him, and he was about to start shoot another time. Sagar, I just went behind him and grabbed the barrel of the gun, and we wrestled for the.
When you say you wrestled, were you sitting down when he came in the room?
Yeah, I was sitting down. As soon as he shot Shekar, I just got up, and then within a second, he shot Shekar, and he is about to shoot again. Shekar, I just grabbed the gun, and then I tried to take the gun away. I asked you, Bruce, why are you doing this to us? We are your friends, co-worker. I think he didn't want to let go, and he turned the gun like that. When I was trying to take the gun away from him, one went.
Are you still standing up?
Yeah, we were standing, and I was behind him, like holding him from behind and trying to get the gun away. And the one he shot like on the ceiling, and when I was about to take the gun away, and he just turned the gun and shot me, I just reacted like a little bit faster, and then it just went through here and got my back, and then blood started coming out. And I didn't let go of the gun because as soon as I let it go, he's gonna finish me. So I was about to just telling him, Bruce, calm down, just don't do it, please stop it. And he didn't say nothing. He didn't let it go. Why are you doing this to us? Because and then due to a lot of blood on the floor, I think we slept on the floor, and then as we were about to going down in the floor, I just grabbed the gun, pinned him down here, stop it, and then I was holding the gun like this.
So you had him down on the ground, holding him down, got the gun away from him?
Yeah, and stop it, and I was holding the gun.
Is he still trying to?
He's still trying to. I didn't shot him. I should have. I gave him that mercy of because I had the gun. He shot my friends. He shot me, and I was holding him, and then I didn't shot him. Like, stop it, don't stop, stop it.
Was anybody coming in?
And that moment didn't last long. And the Tika walked in, and Tika didn't. I think because as soon as I gave him a gun, he should have been running right, but he was just looking at like, Tika, run, go away, and then Tika trying to run away, and he just went after Tika.
And you said Bruce?
Yeah.
Bruce got up off the ground and went
Got the ground and went after him. And like at that point, okay, I just locked the door, put my hands on the handlebar, and put the table there and called 911. And after a few minutes, the guys from the line told me, hey, come on, everything's over.
Were you then
Went to the security area.
area?
Yeah, and we sat there until the paramedic and the police also came.
Were you taken to the hospital?
Yes,
And did you have to stay in the hospital?
yes, about a day.
And have you physically recovered from your gunshot wound?
I still can't hear on this. I hear the buzzing noise like that. I can't pronounce. Tightness, stiffness. Yeah, I have to put like music or headphone to kill that.
The ringing?
Yeah, ringing.
And how about emotionally? How are you doing?
I'm trying.
Are you able to work now?
I'm trying, but I haven't worked since the incident.
Are you scared?
Yeah, it changed my life. Like everything, just every single every place I go, I have to think about it. Even my dress, I don't want to wear the same dress that the incident happened because I think that thing's gonna happen again. Yeah.
Just a moment. So then while you were wrestling with Bruce to try to get the gun away from him, during that contact with him, did you smell anything on him?
Yeah, I smell marijuana. Smell like marijuana. I'm not sure, but I smell.
Strong.
And it's strong water because I was with him, like hugging him. What was that? I was hugging him from behind, trying to get the gun away.
Thank you.
Hey, Garrett. I have a couple questions for you about the same exact thing you just talked about, okay? Did you recognize Bruce from having worked with him when you were in that office?
Yes.
You knew it was him right away? You said when shooting started that it didn't make sense to you because you said something like we're friends?
Yes.
Okay. Did you think you were friends with him?
Not like a friend, but we didn't have that like friction between because and even me, less me, like I didn't know that we had that kind of friction in that group. like,
Because you never talked to me first, right?
no, we didn't argue, nothing, he kept himself. So,
He was a quiet guy, wasn't
right,
he?
right.
Did you ever see him talking to himself?
I like, yeah, sometimes he would just rap, like, I don't know, do the sign
But just by himself, not
by
talking to
himself,
other
looking
people?
at just look at the line or people, and just, I thought he was just, practicing freestyle or something.
Okay. You said at times it might not even be that big of a deal to take a nap if part of your shift was done. You might be able to rest for a little bit.
You don't want a manager or supervisor to see you.
Okay. But other people sometimes snuck in and took a quick nap.
But what other people?
I don't know. You said it wasn't that unusual.
QA is like the QA, like you have to run between 5 and sometimes, right?
Okay.
You get like a few, like 10, 15 minutes before another thing starts. And you just, not like just take a rest there.
You said when Bruce started working, you went out of your way at times to help him. You said
Yeah.
help him a lot.
Yeah, because he didn't ask, he didn't communicate, he didn't say, hey, I need help or that. So other guys will come to like, hey, I have this 2 lines running, I need the help on this one. But he didn't ask, so I just asked him, do you need help on this one? So I helped him.
You went out of your way to help him. Even without him asking, I mean.
Yes.
You knew sometimes people fell behind and you
Yeah,
went
then
help.
I would help him, like, do you need it? Because I would initially look over whatever the guys are doing, and most of it, whenever our lead wasn't working, I kind of took over that position and helped the guys around.
You were in the office before Bruce walked in, right?
Yes.
You didn't know of any problems between Bruce and anyone right before he went in that office, right?
No.
But the look you saw, he looked upset enough to you. You thought maybe you'd been in a fight.
Yeah, and that's why they took the, in wrestling, they took the net away. That was my third. I didn't share that to anybody. That was my first thought when I saw him walking toward us.
But you had seen him a whole lot of times before inside that office, right?
Yeah, with the hairnet, the glasses, and the.
But this time looked different to you when you saw his face.
When you are covered like from your hairnet, glasses, you don't see the expression that much. But that time he didn't have the hairnet, and
In the expression and the body language you saw, looked
yeah,
upset.
one hand in his pocket and then walking like that.
Thought maybe he'd have been in a fight.
Yeah, like.
But you were just trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, what's wrong with it? Where's his hairnet? That nothing like no. I didn't think he's gonna come and see us.
Thank you for your time. I don't have any more questions.
Have you interacted with him prior to what occurred in the house that day?
Yes. Beginning of the shift, I told him, hey, you have the paperwork need to fill up. And there's the paperwork, okay? I just remind him that he needs to fill the paperwork for the line that he's going to work.
That was the
Beginning of the shift.
At the end of the shift.
And end of the shift, I saw him walking toward us.
Reading directions.
Govind, have you heard anything about Bruce getting fired?
Not really, but like since he wasn't showing up the time, he was kind of late all the time, like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, And when you are late, you have to take cover for him, like. And then he's late a lot of time, And that's it.
Had there been any type of announcements in your QA shift meeting about an opening on your team?
Yeah, our supervisor told us, hey, we're like opening, hiring. Do you guys want to refer anybody?
Did you have any thoughts about what that might mean?
No, like, I think they're gonna hire another more because we need more people. I was going to the other building, so I didn't talk to him.
And who was that? Was that Vignesh?
Vignesh, yeah, supervisor, manager.
And do you remember when he made that announcement or when he said that to you guys? Do you remember when that was talked about?
Actual date and time, I don't know. I don't remember, but I remember that he was saying that. And
that was in the works.
Yeah, beginning of the shift. Like before we get to the work, and we just get together and we discuss about the line and everything. And the manager supervisor used to come and get it wrapped up.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just a second. Okay, why don't we reconvene at 1:15? Everybody.
All right.
Okay, so that took us to lunchtime, and then we got afternoon session. Now the afternoon session is very quick because I believe they run out of witnesses. So let's get this up here. Yeah, it's a total of an hour, but we're playing at 1.5, so it'll be a lot quicker. So always a quiet one, CG, you're right, and then a quiet one pops up, Sarah P. Woohoo. Okay. Right, so this is the afternoon session. Here we go.
You solemnly swear to testimony which you have in this case now be heard as the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Merci. Can you state your full name and spell your last name?
My first name is Shekar Chapagai, and I'm born on August 22nd, 1990.
How do you spell your last name?
Timsina.
Yep. Can you spell for me?
Timsina.
Thank you, sir.
You may part.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Tika. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a little bit about February of 2025, okay? Where were you working at that time?
So I was working on line 1 pulling the sample when the incident was happening.
Well, where were you working? What was the name of your employer?
My employer was KDC one,
Okay.
and then I was working in the quality department.
What was your position there?
I was a lead on the position on quality.
And what does the quality assurance lead, what does he do? What does your job do?
So I just oversees the people if they have any problems, help them out with the problems, and then resolve the issues that the line has it.
Do you help out with problems? So what kind of problems would your quality assurance people have?
So usually the problems, like if they're unknown about the stuff, that new stuff they're on it, or any new product come in and then they don't know what to do about it, I will ensure them like, hey, this is the right procedure to do it, and then this is what we have to do it, and then I will explain them on the basis of the company procedure.
So if somebody is having trouble getting a certain part of their job right, would you be the person that would help them kind of retrain them?
Yes. So I will retrain them and then explain them, hey, this is the right procedure to do it, and then this is how you do it.
And do you also assign your quality assurance inspectors to their lines? Are you the person that tells, hey, you're gonna need to go to line 3, you go to line 5?
So usually once I get it into the office, we will have the head count, how many people are showing up. And then from there, we'll see the schedule of the production. And from there, we'll schedule the people to the line.
How many people do you normally have on a shift in the
So
QA
it
department?
depends on, because sometimes some people get sick, they don't show up. So usually it will be 6 to 7 people
Okay.
in the max.
And so what happens if someone calls off or they don't show up? What does that do to the job for the other people?
So if someone doesn't show up, and then it's gonna at least give a headache to some other people because he has to do some extra work on it. But we'll try to give them a fair, amount of work division to each and everybody of them.
It kind of makes everybody have to work a little bit harder for that shift. Okay, all right.
And then on the other hand, I would support them as well.
So you help out, you jump in and help out too? Okay. Do you kind of walk or do you monitor the facility during the shift to see how things are going on the lines?
So it depends on what problems they're having. We will definitely gonna have to walk through the facilities and see them. And then as per the schedule, how busy I am on getting the stuff done from my responsibilities and duties too.
So you have some extra stuff you have to do too?
Yes.
Are you responsible for creating a report at the end of the shift as well?
Mhm. We always have to send a report. We have to send all the information that we did it, like whatever sample we put it, and then all the stuff.
As the QA lead, do you normally run the meeting at the beginning of the shift and the meeting at the end of the shift?
So usually when we get in around 2:30, we'll have a meeting on it, and then everybody will be in the meeting. Whoever's are on time. If they're not on time, they will be like, we'll inform them when they're there. And then sometime the end of the shift meeting will be held, but sometimes it depends on what kind of problem. Some people will be, focusing on the tasks to be done, and they will not be able to be available on it, but it will be held on.
So some people might be working a little bit later on the line and not make that end of shift meeting, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanna make sure I understand, okay. Did you, I guess, oversee Bruce Foster? Was he one of your QA inspectors? And did you have to do some remedial work with him as well while he was employed there at KDC?
Yes.
Can you tell us kind of what kind of things did you have to, well, let me strike that, take that back. How many times did you have to do remedial work for Bruce?
So he's working fine. He's having some issues on doing the tax on time. So doing the work on time. So some of the scenario that we might have to help him out because of some new process and new product coming in. So I was able to help him out with most of them whenever he needed help with it.
Did you also have to do random checks in his area at some point because he was struggling with certain tasks?
Yes. So so it's not only for him. We have to go for everybody sometime in the middle of the day for getting the report and everything because it's new hire process. And when there is something changes in the product and new procedure came in, we always have to help them out if they're struggling doing the tasks, and then we'll go monitor them, how they are doing, what they need to be focused on more, and then what need to be improved on them.
So as the QA lead, if you have someone that is having trouble, or maybe someone that is calling off, or someone that is late, what is your responsibility? Do you just tell your supervisor what's happening, or do you have to discipline that person?
So that thing will be above my head because I just report to my manager and supervisor, and then they'll take responsibilities and procedure what they need to do it.
So if you have an employee that's not quite doing what they should be doing, you just
Report to
send
me.
it up.
Yeah,
And your supervisor would be who?
with James.
James?
Yeah, James
Okay.
signs, and then my manager does business.
Big Nest was your manager? Okay, all right. And specifically talking about Bruce, did Bruce struggle with getting to work on time? And did he sometimes leave work early as well?
Sometimes.
And did you report those things to your manager
Yes.
and your supervisor? Did you get any complaints from other employees about Bruce and maybe some of the struggles he was having?
Once in a while, there, some of the line lead were saying that he just kind of little bit, he will be working, but he's just kind of slow. But they'll just report to me, say, hey, this is what's been going on. This is what take time for us to do it because it's affecting their production time. Plus, they will have a time frame to do a certain task. So.
And you said line leads, and are those the people that are in charge of the production lines?
Yes. Okay.
How many lines did KBC have going on a second shift?
I can't give you that exact number, depending on the production volume. So
depending on the night and what was happening, how many lines do they have?
So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of big, probably 14 to 16.
14 to 16, 17. Okay, so quite a few lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have like one part on the front and one part on the back. So.
Were you aware that Bruce had been given some final warnings about his work performance and his attendance? Were you aware of that?
So those things are all about my supervisor and
I'm just
manager.
asking, did you know about it?
I have no idea about it because I was the one who was, if he is not going to be in the work or anything, they're supposed to notify to me so I can adjust the schedule, but I didn't hear anything from them.
On February 4th of 2025, at the beginning of the shift, was Bruce late to the beginning of shift meeting? If you recall.
I'm not sure about it. It's been a long time, so.
Okay, that's all right. Either that day or in the days before that, were you aware that there was an opening or going to be an opening in the QA department?
So they're been on and off hiring positions because they're running a bunch of lines and we're running a bunch of other buildings as well.
And my question was there an announcement made that they're going to be hiring
No.
in the QA? You don't recall that?
No. They just they probably have a position open, but they did not let me know about it.
On February 4th of 2025, did you have contact with Bruce during that shift?
I'm not sure about it.
You don't remember if you talked with Bruce during that shift?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Bruce during that shift?
Yes.
And where did you see him?
He's in the office.
In the QA office?
Yeah.
Okay. And was that toward the end of the shift?
No, it was in the beginning probably.
Okay. And then after that, did you have contact with him at the end of the shift?
No.
Did you go to the QA room about 10:30, 10:25 at night in the evening on the 4th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing a sample and then after that I was not able to finish it. I went to the room.
So where were you doing the sample at?
It was in the front side of the building.
Okay.
On the production side of the room. That was line 1.
Line 1. And then you went to the QA room.
Yeah.
How far was it from line 1 to the QA room?
It was not too far.
Was it a minute walk or less?
Probably a minute or so.
Okay. All right. Were you aware of anything that was happening in the QA room on your walk from line 1?
I was like totally unknown about it.
Okay.
When I was pulling the sample, I didn't, because of the line been running on and it's too loud, it's hard to hear it. And I didn't know nothing about it. Only the thing I heard when I turned around, I heard people screaming, saying explodes. And I was wondering, could be a tank explosion, the bulb tank. And then I went to the office to grab my jacket because it was still cold on that day. And then I saw all that incident there.
So when you went to the office to grab your jacket, did you open the door?
I will say this guy does like to speak a lot. It's just a simple yes or no question, and it's like, yeah, I'll tell you a story though. He's obviously nervous, so I don't blame him.
Yes, I did.
Did you hear anything inside there before you opened the door? No. Okay. When you opened the door, what did you see?
So it was totally dark. It's hard to recognize and see people around there, but yeah, it was a scenario there that people are.
Okay, who did you see?
So first, what I see was it's dark inside since the light is off, but I saw Govin and him.
Govin and who?
Bruce.
Govin and Bruce were in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and were they standing up? Were they on the ground?
They're on the ground.
They're on the ground. Okay. And did Govin say anything to you, or did Bruce say anything to you?
Govin just as soon as I opened the door, he just handed me the weapons, and then he just told me to run.
What else did you see when you opened that door?
It was dark. I cannot remember what it was, and then I was totally blind out because seeing all that panic situation.
Panic situation inside the room?
Mm-hmm.
When Govan handed you the gun and told you to run, did you know why you were running?
I was only the reason I was running away was I have a weapon, and then I tried to escalate all the problems away from him, Bruce.
So you were running away from Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have the idea and the understanding that Bruce was the problem at that time? So why were you running away from Bruce?
Because the problem was he was chasing me away.
He was chasing you?
Mhm.
Okay, so Bruce was chasing you.
As soon as Govan gave the weapon to me, he was coming behind me to get it. So I was running away.
Did he say anything to you as he was chasing you?
No.
Okay. And where did you go to?
So I get out and then go on the main floor in front of the QA office, and then he tried to come and chase me to get the weapon away from, but unfortunately he was not able to, and then I was able to escape myself.
You were able to escape?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And did you go to the front of the building?
So I went from there. I went towards the bulk making compounding, the compounding. From there, and then I went to the office and then found the weapon down.
Okay. Right. Did you see Bruce after that?
So after he left and went towards the warehouse.
Did you see Shekar on your way to the QA room?
So when I was out there going towards the main office, Shekar was coming from the other side, and I saw him over there.
Did you see anything unusual about him at that time, or did you just see him?
I just saw him.
Okay, okay. And it's still, you weren't sure what was happening? Okay, all right. On January 10th, I'm going to go back for a second. On January 10th, did you take a picture of Bruce in the QA office?
Yes, I did.
And what was Bruce doing in the QA office?
He was sleeping there.
And why did you take a picture of him doing that?
So I talked to people, he was been sleeping there, and then we talked to him, like, are you doing all right? He says it's okay, but he was keep sleeping. And then we notify him, like, hey, you cannot sleep down here because, other people will have the work to do on the computer because they only have certain computer to do the work. And then I went back and then come back again, and then he was still sleeping. So I was just trying to report to the management and let them know, like, hey, this is what's going on. And then
So you had already talked to him once about sleeping, and then he came back and he was still doing it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna just show you.
I shouldn't press forward because that means I've delayed the trial. Come on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, let me go back. Jeepers, what am I doing? Here we go. Da, 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 da.
That for me, please.
Got it. What's up there?
Yep. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yeah.
Is that a photograph you took?
Mhm.
And what is that showing?
Yeah, he's sleeping there.
Is that the photo you took on January 10th?
Mhm.
Does that accurately depict what you saw that day?
Yes.
Thank you. And then when you took that photo, who did you send it to?
So I sent it to my manager, supervisor, and HR.
So your manager, James,
Mhm.
and your supervisor, Vignesh.
No, my supervisor, James, manager, Vignesh.
Okay, sorry.
HR.
Okay, and HR? Okay. All right. I mean, I'm just moving on.
Yeah, that's scary, CG. That's a scary experience.
Have you also had a conversation with Bruce about the clear bag policy in the warehouse?
I did not talk to him, but the company has a meeting, and then they will always say in the meeting, like, hey, the company has a clear bag policies, so it will be in the meeting. But I did not personally talk to him about the clear bag policies.
Did somebody else talk to him about it?
Probably the manager and supervisor might be to him.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions?
Cross-examination, Steph.
Thank you, Ron. Good morning, or good afternoon, sir. My name is Jeff Stavroff. I'm one of Bruce Foster's attorneys. I'm going to ask you some questions about this. All right, so at KDC, you hold more of a supervisory position. You have some people that you supervise, correct?
I'm a lead, and then, yes, I was from the almost.
Okay. And so if there is some sort of issue that you need to report up to the chain of command, whether that's through HR or through QA, you go to the next level above you, correct?
Yes, I send an email to supervisor, manager, and HR.
Okay. And so you just report up to the next level. For HR, it might be Mr. Hines, correct?
That's my supervisor, James.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I said HR, but perhaps QA, that would be the next level up in your chain, right? Okay. Did I get that right?
Yes, James.
And you don't have any discretion or authority to hire or fire people, correct?
No.
You just report up and you let the people above you make those decisions.
Yes, they,
Thank you. You weren't aware of any final warnings that Mr. Foster received from anyone up above you, correct? You weren't aware of any effort to replace Mr. Foster, correct? The state had just asked you some questions about a job opening. You didn't think that that job opening was to replace any specific employee at KDC1, correct?
because they were always hiring people around it, so I was not assuming that they are going to replace him or anybody.
It's a pretty normal thing for them to have a job opening, right?
So they usually will have like opening for, they've been running a bunch of lines and then they need extra people. That's what I was thinking. So
Yeah, I want to take you back to February 4th. I know it was a very emotional day for many reasons, but I want to ask you some really direct questions. Did you see Bruce Foster's face?
on the outside, yes.
Okay. Was he wearing a mask? Okay. Was he wearing his job uniform at the end of the shift?
I was not sure about it because it was been a long time, but he was in a job uniform when he was in the beginning.
At the beginning, right? Okay. And you can't remember necessarily because there was too much going on at the end of the shift. But you saw his face?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw that he had a gun? Or that you took a gun from Mr. Govan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Govan told you to run, correct?
Yes.
Right. There's some discussion about a clear bag policy. You never instructed Mr. Foster about any sort of policy related to clear bags, correct? And you never enforced that policy, correct?
It's all about the clear bag policies that the company will announce in a meeting, and then we'll implement to all of the employees working in there. So regarding to any other problems, they will be notified by their supervisor or managers because I won't be able to notify anybody.
Right. So you didn't personally notify Mr. Foster, and you don't know who could have notified him, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time. No further questions, Your Honor.
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I missed that.
Thank you.
This case now be heard, the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
That's right.
You may have a seat. Can you state your full name, spell your last name, please, for records?
It's Nicholas Harris. My last name is Harris.
May I inquire? Thank you, Your Honor. How you doing?
I'm here.
Yeah. So, did you used to work at KDC1?
Used to, kind of still do, kind of. I don't know. Like I'm technically employed. I'm not really obviously working. So I mean, yes, I guess is the answer.
Okay. When did you start working for KDC?
Exact day.
No, like year.
It was like 14 years ago. I could not tell you the exact.
No worries.
14 years ago. So, and, that's if you don't include the past year and a half.
Okay.
So
14
so
years.
15 and a half years ago was probably when I started, and I was a temp at KDC 6 months before I got hired there. So quite a long time.
Okay. And you just kind of went through the ranks.
Yeah, I started at the bottom and I worked my way up. Yeah. Based on,
In February of 2025, what was your position?
So my position is kind of weird, and the only reason why I say that is because I'm a line lead. But for a while, we had a director that kind of promoted me to a position that he created for me called area line lead. It was kind of like an unofficial title. So the short answer is I was a line lead.
Okay. And what is a line lead exactly?
So a line lead is someone who runs a production line, and a production line is we assemble a product and we ship it out. So
Okay. In February of 2025, what was your normal line?
my assigned line is line 9.
Okay. What about on February 4th, 2025?
Yeah. So I can't remember exactly what happened, but for some reason my line was not running. I don't remember if we had a shortage of goods and I could not run, or if we had finished all our orders for that week and I was not scheduled to run anymore because I had basically finished the last order. It was one of those two things. We were either waiting on something or we were done for the week. And I got moved to, okay, so there was someone that could have got promoted to my position who was kind of like, they wanted me to train them and basically train them to do my job on a different line. So they're like, hey, he's kind of free right now. Why don't we use him to mentor this other guy while he's kind of learning the job? And then we have a backup in case anything goes wrong. So my the only thing I was supposed to do that night was kind of there to assist him. He asked me some questions. I helped out that line lead. I think his name was Ali Adal. I helped him out with some stuff that, he came to me with. And I basically just like was there if he needed me.
Okay. And what line was that?
I think that's line 17 on far wall. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. And do you see Bruce Foster here today?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know Bruce Foster?
I'm aware of who he is. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you know him from your employment?
He's a coworker. Okay. He works for a different department within my same company.
Okay. And what was your understanding of his department?
He's the quality department. So he's like the checks and balances to make sure that we're putting out a quality that would pass inspection for a multitude of things. Label placement, making sure there's no debris inside the product that we're shipping out, like a number of things.
Okay. And was he assigned to one of your lines that night?
Yes, on that. Well, my line. Remember, I'm not assigned to that line. I'm helping out in that role. But he was assigned to 17 and the one next to it. The reason why I don't know the exact number of that line next to it is because I think it's changed a couple times. I think at the time it was 14. But yeah, I think he was assigned to those two lines in that side of the building for that night.
Okay. And with the, him being assigned to your line that you were working on or mentoring someone on, would you have any contact with him at night?
So the only times I really deal with the QAs is if I need them for something, and I'll explain what that is. So most of the time they can do their job without really needing any interference from me. But every once in a while we have things called changeovers, and there are a couple different kinds of changeovers. But basically, I need them to approve things between these changeovers to tell me like, hey, everything's good, you can run. And that's like the only time I really interact with the QAs is if I need them for one of those changeovers. And I think, well, that answers your questions unless you want me to continue.
Okay, yeah. So I asked, did you have any contact with him on that particular?
So on that particular night, we had one thing that's called batch change, and all that this means is we have, each time we make a batch of products, it's its own separate thing, and it has a code that goes with it. So when we go to, it's the same, we call it flavor, but it's the same sense, but it's a different tank. So basically it gets its own batch number, and the reason why is if there's a quality issue with it, we can separate it out, or like we can do a recall because they're separated, right? So we did have one of these batch changes where we went from one tank to another tank, and I can't remember if the employee I was mentoring was on break or something, but basically he wasn't around, and I needed to give a sample from the new tank to the quality department to basically test it and say, hey, it checks out for the scent, it checks out for viscosity, it's good to go. So, we did the batch change. I handed Bruce a bottle. I was like, hey, I need you to take this to lab. It's the only thing I ever said, because that's all I needed from him. He didn't say anything in response. He just took it, and it was out of my hands at that point. Here's the bottle, take it to the lab, tell me if it's good. If it's good, I'll start running again.
Okay. And did he tell you it was good?
I don't think I got to that point. I don't remember receiving it back from him. So maybe that happened. I don't recall. I don't even recall if we ran after I handed in that bottle, because we do have to wait for them to. And I think there was a time that our lab department who tests the product that we put out, they were like backed up. So I think they were short-handed or something, and so things were taking longer inside the laboratory for them to test things. So I don't think I received it back from him that night, and I don't think I got the okay to continue running that line. But also, I wasn't super concerned because I was basically helping out the guy that was already assigned over there.
Okay. And did you ever experience Mr. Foster before on different nights?
Yeah, he had been assigned to line 9 on other nights. Yeah.
Okay. And what was your experience with his work performance on those other nights?
So unfortunately, I've been there for quite a long time. I've worked with a lot of QAs, and Bruce is one of the worst performers in that job that I've ever seen. Now, on my particular line, and if you want an idea of what like performance can look like, it's basically like something that would take should take about 5 to 8 minutes, taking like 20 minutes, or sometimes I would need him for something and there's just nowhere to be found. Things like that. All these things kind of stop the line, and it's it's very transparent because if the line's down, we have a digital board that records anytime the line stopped for more than a minute. It says like, hey, you're down. You need to give me a reason why you're down, and it's very obvious when I'm waiting on things. If I'm waiting on boxes from the warehouse, I have to scan the warehouse. Like I don't know what these boxes are. It's not my job to get them to me. They're supposed to provide me with these. If I need the QA to approve like the next product, I have to wait on them to do their job before I can do my job. And I would say he was definitely like. I think a lot of people. I don't think I would have been the only one that reported how poor his performance was. Like I was constantly waiting on him. He took forever to do what I thought was simple tasks, but that's my opinion. And he's really a thorn in our side for all the line mates that he was assigned to. Because remember, it does rotate. He's not on one singular line any given day of the week. So.
Okay. So there'd be a board, and it would say QA is slowing us down.
Yeah, right. And so actually, the board will, if the line stops for a minute, it'll pop up and say, "Hey, your line's down. Give me a reason." And then I have a sheet of barcodes. I just scan the barcode that corresponds with the reason that we're down. So they save all that information. There's a report that goes out every night that says like a detailed explanation of like why we're down. And then I think there's even like at KC they'll be like we'll say once a year we'll go over that data like, oh hey, our biggest downtime was waiting on materials or something. But that's an example, by the way. Or it could be, you can see the amount of time that we had to wait on the quality department to do their job. And it would show the times that Bruce was assigned to a line and also had correlating downtime for the lines that he was on. You could go look that up. Like as far as I'm aware, those are sent out in emails. They don't go anywhere.
Okay.
So
yeah, KC provided us that.
they could totally. I don't see. Like I said, I tried to delete emails, and for some reason, every time I refresh the page, it comes back. So as far as I'm aware, like there's no reason why you could not find that information. Okay. Especially because they presented to us in a report like once a year or something.
Okay. So you would have, he would know that you're reporting him as being the reason for that.
So yeah, you can definitely. Everyone has access to that report. You can definitely go in there and see that now.
No, when it's on the board.
Yes, when it's on the digital board, it's very visible to anyone. And there will be times like, I don't think Bruce himself, but there, other quality people, sometimes warehouse people, they're like, hey, we don't think it's fair that you scan this thing. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'm waiting on this. Does that pertain to your department? Well, yes. Okay, then I have to scan this code. It's not personal. This is company policy. I have to say why I'm down. Everything on my end is good. You are the bottleneck here. I have to scan it. Like it's not personal. That's just what's expected of me by the company. So I don't really have much control of it. I can't lie. If I lie and say the power went out, like they're gonna say like, hey, you said this happened, but that doesn't really. Is that?
So you'd have to really scan.
I had to accurately, like it was so transparent. I couldn't hide it from it if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like anything that's like a long amount of period of time, they're gonna my supervisors or sometimes my manager will ask me like, hey, you were down for an hour. What happened? Or they want more information from me. Like I have nowhere to hide for that information. Like I can't say like, oh, well, he was just a little bit behind tonight. It is what it is.
So you're just honest about who was
Completely honest. I don't think I was being unfair. I was never unfair. I just had to skin the reason why we were down, and it was not personal.
Okay. And did you ever have any conversations with Bruce when he was the QA for your?
So weirdly enough, I would say like as far as like the amount of talking I have, like because you can. I definitely interact with some of my coworkers, but like a lot of times I would ask Bruce to do something, and I was lucky if I got a head nod. You know what I mean? He wasn't super responsive to me. I would ask him to do things. Maybe I get a head nod, maybe not. And I would just.
To be fair, though, this is the type of guy that I would avoid in work. Because that if you get chatting to him, you're not getting away from him. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't fucking stop talking. So I would be like, if I saw him coming, I would give a head nod and then just walk away. He would cause my lines to be stopped.
I hope he did a job. I know he heard me because he looked at me and he acknowledged that I said something to him. But like I would say, as far as amount of words I've spoken to someone at KC, he's probably at the bottom. Like we just didn't talk. And that that's a two-way street. It wasn't like really coming from me. Like there are other QAs that say, hey, can I have your number and can you shoot me a text when you need me if I'm not around? I'm like, hey, absolutely, I can totally do that. Like if you want my number, I'll text you and say like, hey, I'm gonna need you in about 15 minutes. And like I said, it was not personal. It's
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so on February 4th, 2025, what hours did you work that day?
I think it was my regular scheduled shift, which is 2 to 11. I think we clock in at 2:30, but we clock out for a 30-minute lunch, so it's 2:30 to 11.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's the hours that you were planning to work that day?
Correct.
Okay. And can you describe your shift for me?
Describe my shift?
On that day, February 4th, 2025.
I mean, outside of the regularity that I was on, I wasn't really in a super. Like I said, I was kind of just helping out. I was mentoring, I was training. I wasn't in a really like difficult position that day, and that gave me kind of like more freedom than I would have if I was running my line. So I had conversations with people. I probably looked up news or something on my phone. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I tried to make the day go by. There wasn't. I was there if they needed me, type of thing. So yeah. But overall, after I had my lunches, my breaks, and.
Okay. What about around 10:19 p.m.? Do you remember having a conversation with anyone in particular?
So that would have been so me and my shift manager who was Kyle, who was passed. We were like best friends. So we did a lot. We would have conversations at work. We did things outside of work together. Like we even went on a trip to Yellowstone together. So like we were friends. And I think that was around the night. Like he also like because each manager is in charge of like a certain number of lines. I think he only had like one that night or one or two. Basically his workload was also light. So he came over to just shoot the shit with me. You know what I mean? He was like, hey man, do you think you want to play video games tonight? Or like what are your plans like? Look for the rest of the week. We were just like having our normal like talk back and forth. Like, hey, what's going on, man? How's your day? And we're just talking about stuff. And I don't actually remember everything we talked about in that.
Yeah, no worries about. But you were having a conversation with Kyle.
Yeah, we were. So yeah, he kind of like I remember he came up to me kind of like give me away. I was like so I came over to meet him, and then there was like all the maintenance team. They have these giant toolboxes, and so we kind of like. We kind of like leaned over the toolbox and we're like kind of like talking to each other. That's the toolbox.
So kind of like just like talking like this.
Yeah, I think I was leaning like it's a pretty tall toolbox. I'm 6'6", but it's fairly tall. And I was leaned over on it, and he was on the other side of the toolbox, and we were just kind of having a back and forth. Nothing serious like this.
Okay. And as you were having this conversation, what do you remember?
So, this is where like it's very weird. Like time slowed down for me in this moment, and yeah. So it looked like. For some reason to me, it was very strange. It looked like Kyle had just fallen asleep. And I was so confused because I'm talking to him and it looks like he fell asleep and like slumped over. And I was very confused. I was looking at him and he looked so asleep to me. And I was so confused. And then I'm like kind of aware of like a loud noise to my right. And I'm like, well, what the heck was that? Like I was so confused. I didn't understand what was going on. And then like I turned to look and I'm staring down the barrel of a gun. And Bruce Foster is behind the gun. And I'm staring right down the barrel of the gun and into his eyes, which are like impossibly wide. It's like the most wide I've seen anyone's eyes before. I don't know what's going on with that, but it stands out to me because it's like a picture I can't erase from my mind. Like I close my eyes and I can picture that looking down the gun and then seeing Bruce with his his super wide eyes and and then at that point I think everything else from then on that was reflexes. Like I was no longer in control. I just like hey they say usually flight kicks in and I thought my best option was to run because I didn't have a gun. I didn't feel like I had a way to fight back, so I sprinted away. And I was vaguely aware that my left arm wasn't working. Like it was like dead weight to me. And as I'm sprinting away, I feel like, like obviously not the bullet, but I feel something go through the back of my neck, and like I hold it, and like it drops me to my knees for a second, and I'm like, well, shit, can I get back up? And I try to stand back, and I'm able to run out the emergency exit door at the back end. That's behind line 17. I think it'd be the west side of KC. But basically, I ran out this door, and as I'm turning the corner, from the neck down, everything becomes paralyzed. Like I lose complete motor function from the neck down. I can't I can't do anything. I just collapsed on the ground, and I'm just like stuck there, unable to move. Like, it was just me and the thoughts in my head.
Like, in fairness, that sounds absolutely scary. I can only imagine the trauma they go through for this. That is, wow. You'd be scared shitless. I mean, that's something you'll never ever forget. Do you know what I mean? Oof. So I can only imagine the terror he had that night also. No, you don't have to take it back. I mean, look, I feel bad that I said he talks like a fucking, like he's worse than a woman. But, like, his experience is obviously bad, without doubt. But it doesn't take back the fact that, he's not somebody that we probably would interact with. But I do feel absolutely sorry for him that he had to go through that, though. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you said your arm was like dead weight?
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I heard the gun, like, I heard the noise, but like, I'm still trying to figure, like, it's still very confusing to me. And then, like, I'm vaguely aware that, like, my arm is now dead weight. Like, I don't know if it's a shock, adrenaline, or what's keeping me from, like,
I would say so. He has a ponytail, so I imagine he is, yes.
I'm not very aware of, like, I can see that, like, my arm is bleeding. I'm not super aware of what's happening in the moment, but, like, it's just like, it's just like completely unusable, and it's like, it's just dead weight to me. And, obviously a bullet passed through there, but
okay. So you were shot in the arm?
yeah, I was, at some point I was shot in the arm. I can't really tell you if it was before Kyle was shot or I don't really know which one happened first.
No, I understand. And you still have scarring from that?
Oh yeah, I have the entry wound, the exit wound, and then this is the giant scar from so that bone was completely annihilated. It's shattered. I saw it actually. It was shattered to like hundreds of pieces, and the only thing that was holding it together was they put, like, there's a titanium plate in there that holds it together now, and that whole nerve, that radial nerve from like the elbow down got completely knocked out, and like it was just a numb, useless appendage for quite a long time.
I'm going to show you some pictures. This is 15A through S.
Okay.
Yeah. 15A through S. Are you familiar with those photographs?
Yes. Yeah.
What do those photographs show?
Yeah. This shows the entry and exit wounds, and just like the overall damage from the bullets that passed through me.
So let's look at 15A. This is your arm at the hospital van.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then is this you?
Yes. Yes.
Is this right after the shooting?
Yeah. Is this in the ambulance?
It looks like it might be in the hospital.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is after they got me in the hospital. Okay. Yes.
Okay. And you see blood on your face?
Yes.
And is this your neck right here?
Correct. That's the back of my neck. Where.
So it looks like the side.
Oh no, that's right here where it came out. My bad. Yeah, that's right here where it came out.
Okay. So you got shot in the back of your neck.
It passed right by my spine. Yeah. It actually, it fractured. I think it's like C5 or something. Like there was a fracture from the bullet passing so close to it that they said if it had been like an inch to the left, I'd be done. Like I'd be not here. So they said like that's why all the people at the hospital they kept telling me like how lucky I was. Like it was just like a matter of very minuscule measurements of why I'm able to talk to you right now. So yeah.
And 15D, that's your neck as well.
Yeah, that's also the exit wound. Yeah.
And 15E, this is just like a zoom out of your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 15F, is this where is this a bandage on top of?
The entry wound in the back of my head, yeah.
Okay. And then 15G?
Correct. Yeah, same thing.
Okay. So you were shot in the back of the neck?
Yes.
Is that why you were running away from Bruce Foster?
Well, I mean, I was running away because I was staring down the barrel of the gun, and I knew I couldn't really contend with that. So I thought, well, my one hope was to run. I didn't really have a lot to.
No, I understand. I'm just asking, when he shot you, you were running away from him the second time.
The one to the back of the neck is as I'm running away. Yes, I remember because I'm like, I'm running away from him, and then the second shot brings me to my knees, and I'm kind of stuck there in the middle of the floor for a second. I'm able to get up and run again. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you 15I. Is this your forearm?
Correct, on the left forearm. Yeah.
And that's where where was the entrance wound on your left forearm?
Yeah, it's on the inside of my arm. So I was like kind of over the maintenance toolbox, like leaning over like this. So I'm guessing it like went in through there and out through here.
Okay.
I'm saying I didn't really see it. I have to.
And you were talking about some X-rays and titanium rods earlier?
Yeah, I think that's. I thought it was more of a plate, but yeah, like the rod, and then it's holding everything together, kind of like protrude. I can feel it kind of protrudes through my skin a little bit.
And I'm showing you 15L. Is this just a different angle of that same left forearm?
Right. They took a bunch of different angles just to look at it. Yeah. Okay. And then you can see where it was like shattered in that picture.
And then is this stitching on your arm?
Yeah, that's yeah.
And then this is just another picture of 15O.
Yeah, this might be when they were removing the stitches or cleaning it or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And then 15P.
Yeah, same things.
And I'm showing you 15R.
Oh, yeah, this is them cutting out the stitches. That was awful.
Okay, that was a painful experience.
Yeah, because the stitches stick to all the scabs and they got to get them out. So a lot of times the stitches would come off with scabs and that sucked. Like they try their best, but they don't really numb you for it. And yeah, I don't know how many, there was a lot of stitches in it, you know, she's like in there with, you know, scissors and tweezers and just pulling them out because they got to come out. But yeah, you can see my face, that was not fun.
So you're wincing in pain.
Yeah, that was in pain. That was awful.
And so, are you still fully healed at this point in time?
So I think I'm, as far as my physical injuries, they're kind of saying it sounds like I'm as good as I can get as far as my physical injuries. And the reason why I believe that is because my physical therapy has ended. And the reason why is because she started to see a plateau and she's like, hey, we're not really getting any more range of motion than what we have now. So, you know, they're not going to really keep paying for us to keep trying because we're not getting any more out of you. Like this might just be it. And then after, I think a month after my physical therapy ended, I just recently had a follow-up EMG. And just to give you an idea, the first EMG was promising because it showed a lot of what they call nerve reintegration. And the most recent one did not show that. So it seems to me that everything that is left over is, you know, probably semi-permanent to permanent damage that I just have to deal with now. And that's like, you know, described in different ways as like, I lose 15 degrees of motion one way, 10 degrees of motion another way. You know, this part of my hand is really numb. I know that I can't really lift as much as I used to because, you know, one time I tried it, it popped and then my arm swelled up. So I'm scared to try to really lift anything like I used to. You know, my hobby was the gym. Like I have a home gym and you know, I like to work out. And I cannot do a lot of things I used to.
Nothing for this.
Cross examine.
Thank you, Ron. My name's Jeff Stavrow.
Okay.
I'm one of Bruce's attorneys.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Sure.
I know this is a very difficult subject matter to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try to keep my questions as very narrow as possible.
Okay.
Keep it basically at a yes or no.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Sounds good to me.
So you had seen Bruce Foster for how long did you know Bruce Foster?
I don't know how long he worked at KC. I'm not aware of everyone's start dates or end dates. I'm vaguely aware that he worked for us in a different department. I thought like he got fired or quit or something and they came back. So do you want like the timeline of all together or just like?
Oh, and you worked for about 14 years at KBC, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had seen Mr. Foster more, not in those early 14 years, but more recently, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. We'll keep it there. You had mentioned that you saw him wide-eyed on February 4th, 2025.
Yeah, behind the gun, his eyes were so I can't even recreate it. Like I just remember like the whites of his eyes. It was like I don't know.
And of course, you had seen him and you had interacted with him at KTC one before, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you'd never seen him wide-eyed like that before, correct?
No.
Okay. Did you ever know him to talk to himself?
So yeah, I would say like when he does his little like box checks. So a box check is just like you know you're verifying like what I'm saying is a finished good. You're verifying it for like you know.
I guess I don't need to know a lot of specifics about KDC one. I don't want to
sorry,
out there, but I appreciate you sharing that. But did you just ever know him to mumble to himself?
So I would say during those checks he would you know he was like either talking or rapping to himself or something. You know I never got close enough to hear what he was saying. But
Maybe moving his hands like this.
Yeah,
motioning right now.
Yeah, something like I said, either talking or rapping or something to himself. I'm not sure.
Okay, and you couldn't make sense of it. Either because
it's loud in that building. I would never be able to hear what he's saying.
Okay. And because you saw that he was wide-eyed, you saw Bruce Foster's face on February 4th.
Yes.
Okay. Was he wearing work clothes?
So at that time, KDC moved to a more lenient work clothes policy. So I think he had jeans on.
Okay, but let me just stop you there. Was there a shirt that said KDC that most employees were wearing that day?
Did we have to wear KDC? I think so. Yeah, I think we were all required to wear some sort of shirt that said KDC on it.
Okay. He wasn't covering his face, correct?
No.
Right, and usually people, you're in quality assurance, so.
No, I'm not.
But I'm sorry, Mr. Foster's in quality assurance at that time, in the
Yes.
QA department, right?
Yes.
And it's very important for those people with beard or, you know, even anyone with hair to wear a hairnet or a beard mask.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, because, you know, from a quality standpoint, you don't want that to contaminate the product.
Right, you should have on a beard net or a hairnet, and I think he was wearing a hairnet. I don't know if I can recall the beard net or not. Maybe I can. I don't know. No, I'm not sure.
But you saw his face and there was no mask on, correct? To your knowledge.
I definitely don't remember like a face mask, a beard mask. I can't recall.
Okay, but you had no doubt in your mind that was Bruce who you had interacted with on that date, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. And you have no authority to hire or fire anyone at KBC.
No, none at all. I can complain about someone's performance.
Yeah. Sir, thank you very much for your time. I have no further questions.
Okay.
Ever seen someone that's like amped up or like full of adrenaline?
Yep.
Yeah, so they might have some like wide eyes.
Sure, I'd say that's possible.
Wouldn't you say shooting someone in the head would amp you up?
Oh yeah, I would say you're probably full of adrenaline. Yeah.
And did he look afraid of you? Like he was
I don't
scared of
know.
you?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. That's one thing I'm not entirely sure why I was shot, to be honest.
No, I understand, but I mean, usually if you're scared of someone, are you chasing them down with a gun?
Oh, I would say no. I would say if you're scared of someone, you are trying to get away, like I was. Yeah.
Okay. You were scared of him.
I was scared, yeah, because I had a way to fight back. And in my mind, I didn't have a way to fight back, yeah.
And who was the person with the gun?
It was Bruce Foster.
Thank you. Let it go. You're crossed.
I think you're on.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just, put it back in this one. All right, next witness.
I believe that was our 7. We can go into maybe.
Do what?
That was our.
I think that was it for the day, Your
That's
Honor.
it. That's it for today. All right, then the plan would be your next 2 witnesses are, the 3 are coming tomorrow morning. What time do you want to start?
9?
9
I have
o'clock?
the interpreter scheduled for 9 o'clock, I believe.
Okay. 9 o'clock, we are out of witnesses and we'll convene then tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, thank you.
All right.
Oh, I guess they're more reddish pink. They are, I suppose. His cuffs. So, there you go. Well, I thought this is an interesting trial, sort of, to cover. Let's close this one down for now. Something to watch, anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, the plan is now. Tomorrow they're back at 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm probably not going to start at 9 o'clock Eastern, probably 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock Badaza time, purely because my niece is having a birthday tomorrow. She's going to be 16 tomorrow. So I am going there. Better than the TC case. What's the TC case? What's the TC case? I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is, but that's a. So yeah, we'll start an hour after, maybe a little bit after that. My niece, she's going out with her friends tonight, and she probably won't be up until early. I'll probably go over there about 1, 2 o'clock to see her and wish her happy birthday, and then try and get back here for 3 o'clock, which is 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then as soon as I'm back, I'll go live. And hopefully we're at least an hour behind, so we can skip the lunch break. Do you know what I mean? So that's the plan anyway for tomorrow. So we will be a little bit late there, and I won't be I won't be playing it at like 1.5. I'll just play a normal speed, and then just skip the breaks and skip the lunch break and stuff like that. So that'll be the plan for tomorrow. So yeah, this is supposed to last a few days. So it's not like a 2-3 week trial. It's just I think maybe this week, possibly. So, or even next couple of days, I don't know. So that's where we're at with it. So yeah. Anyway, I will love you and leave you with that. Thank you for joining me. Especially Sarah P, Badaza, obviously. CG, nice to see you, sir. As always, as well. Oh yeah, I've not watched any of it, but I've not watched any of it, to be quite honest with you. I hear that most people I've seen online are saying she will be found not guilty. Well, she'll be found guilty of insanity or whatever. So that's what most people I've seen online that I follow, I guess. The Wi-Fi just went out. I'll just explain it again, just for you, Sarah P. So we're back tomorrow at 9 o'clock 9 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Badaza time. I might be slightly late just because my niece is 16 tomorrow. I'm going up to see her around 1, 2 o'clock my time. So we should be we should be going live around 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, but we might be slightly late, if anything. So we'll just call it, we'll play by ear. So I hope so. Yeah, most people I think that. This is why I didn't go into it. So yeah, I don't know. It's the whole thing with insanity now. I'm just like, you should be on time for once. Happy birthday to her. Take her some treats. She doesn't want treats. She wants that. She wants money, money, money. Why do you think I'm back streaming? Money, money, money. She's wiping me dry. Seen bits here and there. It's crazy. Them saying I saw that. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't look at it all either. And I saw the protest that they were clapping her and shout. I was like, this is not for me. Anyway, so I'm glad I didn't cover it in some ways. So, right. There we go. We shall see you tomorrow morning, everyone. Well, bad day tomorrow afternoon, but yeah. For the rest of you and whoever else popped in and said hello, thank you for being here. And Coco and everyone that did pop in. And I'm not sure if there's anyone else. There probably was. I just don't remember. Yeah. Anyway. Thank you. See you tomorrow. And because I'm not on premium on streaming right now, once I finish it, I can't play music. So I'm going to end it in 5, 4,